Thank you. Parliament is resumed, and I think been requested by the Minister for Health and MP for North Kurakanal to take the first opportunity to contribute to the motion. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as a new MP, thank you for allowing me to deliver my maiden speech on this 12th Parliament. I, on behalf of my people of Gaubata and North Kurakanal constituency, wish now to formally congratulate you for your nomination and subsequently elected as a Speaker of Parliament. I wish you well and God's guidance in your leadership. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of my people, I also wish to congratulate formally our Prime Minister, Jeremiah Manele, for his election as the Prime Minister of Solomon Islands, and I'm looking forward to work with him as a member of his cabinet ministers to transform our healthcare sector across Solomon Islands. I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to thank my people of North Kurakanal constituency for the peaceful election. Their trust and confidence, they read to me to be their voice and to be their member of parliament in this honorable house is an investment they can count on. To the people of North Kurakanal constituency, to my co-supporters, thank you for your vote, and I urge you all to forgive those who have political differences towards us, and I'm sure all of us here also have this during our election process. Let us be united, my good people, as we look forward to achieve our development goals that branded us beyond CDF. Mr. Speaker, North Kurakanal constituency is a very unique constituency. My constituency hosted the whole of Solomon Islands, and so my constituency is a home of all Solomon Islanders, including Member Blow, Tabu Blomi Member Blow, Central Honiara. Since 1964, as written by Dr. Lasanga, he's a Fijian and was published in July 1968 of his study of Tasiboko participation in the caste economy, showed that my constituency has the potential to contribute more to the economy. Today, this morning, we heard a lot about the lectures and the debate about the economy. Within that same period, Mr. Speaker, North Kurakanal constituency hosts largest farm rice in the country, and I believe if that rice farm still exists today, we should have saved more than 320 million worth of rice imports. Unfortunately, rice became one of the imported commodity that contributes to our current trade deficit status. We can grow rice in North Kurakanal constituency, Mr. Speaker. In 2014, August 10th, SIBC reports that we are highest rice consumer in the region. Maybe that contributes to the NCD as well. This is a great opportunity, Mr. Speaker, for our domestic market and as well as our international market. And this is the basis of our internal trade if we invest in domestic manufacturing industry. Mr. Speaker, since 1972, we have opened our resources for economic development until today. My constituency hosts the 3 estates of oil palm since when CDC started and then become the Solomon Islands Plantation Limited, then and now GPO. I must acknowledge the people of North Kurakanal constituency for their role in accepting economic development that continues to keep Solomon Islands economy afloat to date. My people, this is something that we need to be proud of as a Solomon Islander. Mr. Speaker, North Kurakanal constituency is the best avenue for economic development to grow our national economy. It is evident that we can contribute to the economy given our geographic location, accessing both domestic and international markets. In one of the statements given by the CBSI Governor, Dr. Luke Forau, in April 2024 states that a minimum average economic growth should be 5%, be an acceptable growth rate in a developing country like Solomon Islands. North Guadalcanal constituency is willing to open up for development and investment to achieve this minimum economic growth rate to create good economic cash base for our people. Mr. Speaker, seeing the potential of my constituency in areas of economic development, we are ready and looking forward to work closely with the government for the national unity and transformation and other donor partners to industrialize agriculture as an internal approach to grow our economy. Mr. Speaker, it is vital that we need to grow our economy in the rural areas before we talk about the urban economy. The price of goods and services continue to affect our basic livelihood. This is because of the trade deficit that we chronically have within the sphere of our international trade. The negative trade deficit we have, Mr. Speaker, weaken our internal trade and affecting our livelihood, especially to our people in the rural areas. The immediate solution is to invest in manufacturing industries and local food industries that will subsequently geared towards import substitute. These will also align to the CBSI's Governor speech in April 2023, highlighting an immediate attention to facilitate export sector, and that's what the GNAT is trying to do within the 100 days policy. As part of the 100 days policy of GNAT within the Ministry of Agriculture, Sape Farm committed to open its pack house for the cause of economic participation. Mr. Speaker, our livelihood becomes dependent externally, and it is the focus of GNAT to redirect our productive sector investment. I urge my good people of North Guadalcanal constituency and the people of Solomon Islands to stand together and open up for investment and development to transform our beloved Solomon Islands. My constituency is open for investment and development, and we are more interested in economic livelihood, not just an improved standard of living. Mr. Speaker, North Guadalcanal constituency by average contributed more than 90 million per annum to our national economy. This contribution can be increased if we focus to our economic potential, and that is on agriculture. GPOL since 2005 contributed so much through indirect taxes and direct taxes worth millions of dollars. I want to thank our indigenous landowners for allowing their land for development. I want to thank our people of Solomon Islands who came to work at GPOL for their hard work, works up at very early in the morning, ensuring that our economy remains afloat. North Guadalcanal constituency has the potential to contribute to achieve more, importantly, more, to achieve one of the important policy pillars stated in the 2024 budget, and that is, and I quote, strengthen our resilience to achieve sustainable economic growth. Mr. Speaker, I myself worked at GPOL for 6 solid years, and I could only imagine of their greatest dedication and commitment to their work that should be recognized and rewarded. GPOL is an example of agricultural industry development. We need to engage our people more in agricultural development, and may I re-emphasize that North Guadalcanal constituency is ready for economic development to achieve our dreams by living beyond CDF. Mr. Speaker, growing our economy is one of our constituency primary objectives because we believe it is important for our livelihood and into the future. Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank our donor partners as well as the Solomon Islands government for our partnership over the years. I look forward to work closely with our donor partners for our mutual benefit. Mr. Speaker, by doing what I have just said, I believe in today's and this morning's debate will help to improve and assist the fiscal policy and its management for our country. Mr. Speaker, you may allow me more time to touch on the health because it's the main focus of our people across Solomon Islands. Before me doing that one, Mr. Speaker, me this like for respond lo misinformation that the member of Block Central Honiara hemi talem today about the 3 months. Me no talem 3 months by whole health system by improve, but rather I said that by 3 months now by SFA facility by open. And I want to re-emphasize to our honorable colleagues that it's misinforming people here, it's not quite healthy. And there are 5 things that I want to emphasize in the process of listening, because imi run by responder. So imi must me like for me talk about him how not for listen. Lo how brain hemi waka. So there are 5 processes, Mr. Speaker, receiving. We listen, we receive, then we understand, and then we remember, and then we evaluate, and then we respond correctly. So today, I thought if you were listening very well, I'm not saying that 3 months that I am going to solve the healthcare system in the Solomon Islands. Rather, I said that give me 3 months to open SFA facility. Mr. Speaker, on the brief of health status overview, Solomon Islands population continue to grow at an annual rate of 2.6 according to the 2019 National Population and Housing Census. The majority, which accounts for 72% of the population, live in the rural areas compared to those in the urban areas, which is 27.6%. This shows an increase in urban population compared to the 2009 census, which was 19.7%. Going by global trends, Mr. Speaker, the urban shift in population distribution will continue to increase. This calls for proper planning and budgeting of urban social and health services in particular, while at the same time prioritize provincial health services where most population will still be lived in 20 to 30 years' time. Mr. Speaker, the 2023 Health Core Indicator reports shows a mixed picture in terms of core health indicators obtained through our health information system. On the positive sides, maternal death has improved from 20 maternal deaths in 2022 to 14 maternal deaths in 2023. Infant mortality rate has improved from 15.5 per 1,000 live births in 2022 to 13 per 1,000 live births in 2023. Under 5 mortality rate has also improved from 19.5 per 1,000 live births in 2022 to 17.6 per 1,000 live births in 2023. Children who have received 1 dose of measles Children who immunized against measles has improved from 88.4% in 2022 to 95.1% in 2023. Access to antenatal care, especially the percentage of pregnant women completing at least 4 antenatal visits, has also showed improvement from 59.9% in 2022 to 67.3% in 2023. With this positive note, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank all the healthcare workers, including the doctors, the nurses across Solomon Islands. While continuing on the improvement of that ministry has made, we also take note of our health indicators that have worsened, including malaria and non-communicable diseases. Every 6 people die each day of NCD in Solomon Islands, and we have already declared as a crisis, and so I will work hard to put more attention to the NCD. Solomon Islands, Mr. Speaker, had a success story in its annual parasite incidents, reporting which shows a decline from 200 per 1,000 in 2023 to just below 30 in 1,000 in 2014. Intensive malaria control and technical support in the 1990s including the widespread availability of insecticide-treated bed nets and a resumption of indoor residual spraying had a major impact on malaria transmission, and improvement in the diagnosis and treatment contributed to the decline. Global fund financial support started in 2023, and from 2011 to 2015, the country received extensive Australian aid support for malaria, and I want to re-emphasize and say thank you to the people of Australia and the government of Australia for that support in that period. However, since 2015, the annual parasite incidence has increased to 158 per 1,000 in 2023 as compared to 30 per 1,000 population 10 years ago. So, Mr. Speaker, if you look at Stakaman by malaria recently, and of course, I went to PNG to attend the summit to which we talk about on how to reduce malaria, and me follow the counterpart of PNG, Vanuatu, and other countries, Law Asia, me follow sign him the call to action for reducing malaria, Law Asia Pacific. Mr. Speaker, this increase corresponds with a decline in funding, cessation of indoor residual spraying, and decentralization and integration of malaria activities to the provinces. COVID-19 also disrupted many malaria-related activities, but that is no longer an issue, and the program is determined to now focusing on containment and reversal of the current trend. So Mifala Ministry try for work hard for reducing malaria more, especially lo the PF cases blow me because them have affecting brain blow me, and then by me lose lo him. So it is our job that we now try to reverse the current trend for him decrease. Mr. Speaker, non-communicable diseases in particular continue to increase in an alarming rate. In 2018, 28.9% of patients presenting to our health facilities were confirmed or suspected to have diabetes, Mr. Speaker. The figure has increased from 34.5% in 2020 to 35.4% in 2023. According to the 2020 death medical certification, the right cause of death, yeah? So, cause of death located before what's have given report hemisom that the 3 top causes of deaths in our hospitals are: number 1, diabetes, stroke, and ischemic heart diseases. NCD prevention and control therefore remain one of our top health priorities. Noting that in a low-resource setting like Solomon Islands, our beloved country, health care cost managed NCD can quickly drain the Ministry of Health and Medical Services resources with loss of income to patients and their relatives as well as premature death. Mr. Speaker, the snapshot of our health status indicators, which I have just highlighted, should be viewed against the backdrop of a severe global pandemic which severely affected our health service delivery throughout travel restriction and reprioritization of our health resources to prevent and control and manage COVID-19 and its impact, as we all know when we face the COVID-19 in our country. Mr. Speaker, there are, of course, systemic challenges that continue to hinder the health sector to deal decisively with issues that contribute directly to the health and well-being of our good people across Solomon Islands. Mr. Speaker, access to essential medicine and supplies often made headlines when these are out of stock. While inefficiencies within our procurement system and distribution system do contribute towards incidents of out of stocks, the fundamental challenge is that over the years, our orders for drugs and dressings are based on budget allocated and not based on what the health sector needs to deliver, but also compounded that the ongoing stockouts to to factors outside our control and authority, including international and domestic shipments for delivery of our supplies. The supply chain is indeed complex, Mr. Speaker, but I'm thankful to our development partners and stakeholders who have stepped in during our times of emergency for fulfilling our emergency gaps while waiting for the Minister's order. Drugs and medicines remain a significant expenditure pressure for budget Blumivalo Ministry, or the honourable colleagues. The solution, Mr. Speaker, is to reduce the frequency of stockouts, is to have a budget that truly reflects the quantities of medicine and supplies required by our growing population and address inefficiency within our supply chain management. As me talem lo first sitting that me go on and try to look now lo supply chain blo ministry on how waka. And so we identify our issues and me fala putum now some fala corrective action responses lo supply chain. Mr. Speaker, going forward, the Ministry is targeting more realistic national medical store budget come 2025 and currently looking into the situation with the intention of streamlining all processes at all levels, with a quick turnover time to ensure the procurement and release of medical supplies and ensure timely availability and delivery of critical medical supplies that do not run out in the urban centers and as well as in the rural areas. Now that the Cabinet have approved our MOU, Mr. Speaker, with the Indian Photocopier Commission, we are in discussion with our partner ministry, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I also want to thank the Minister and his team at his ministry to expedite the official signing of the MOU with an Indian photocopier to allow the ministry to explore direct procurement of our medical supplies and consumables. In doing so, we will be able to have substantial reduction and cost saving of 50 to 60% of our national medical store budget. Mr. Speaker, our aim and target are to work towards having a zero stockout strategy. And of this, Mr. Speaker, me like to thank him, Deputy Prime Minister, for also facilitating and helping me for out him or the 13 containers plus the 5, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, or the ports officers, and my PS, the Permanent Secretary, and the Executive of the Ministry for their work, and as well as the Attorney General for their work that me are able now for outing or the containers of medicine, where they are now loaded to the National Medical Store and then will be distributed to our National Referral Hospital, and then we are looking into put them into the provinces. Allow me now to tend to our health infrastructure and ongoing improvement, Mr. Speaker. The Ministry of Health and Medical Services currently operates 352 facilities throughout the country. Community themselves built many of our clinics over the years with financial support from various partners and agencies and handed over to the Ministry of Health and Medical Services to run. As a result, my ministry has little control over the growth of these health facilities and difficult to enforce health facility standards in terms of service requirement and design. Many of these health facilities are deteriorating due to lack of ongoing maintenance and improvement, which leads to closure for some, but also because of lack of vital services, infrastructure, and accommodation to accommodate our health workers in the rural communities. However, in responding to the deteriorating conditions of our health facilities, Mr. Speaker, over the 4 years, we have made progress, and we will continue to commit in this space. This includes the following completion and ongoing efforts to name a few in. Completion blow area health centers lo aula, awabu tingoa, afio, and manuapo. Ongoing improvements blo konide, tuku taunga, and Wagina area health centers. Ongoing improvement blo Sulufu Loa, Dedeu, and Leona Rural Health Center, and also ongoing improvement in Tulagi, Good Samaritan Hospital, and Helena Goldie Hospital. Upcoming construction for Kilufi Hospital, improvement and expansion to kickstart this July 2024, Mr. Speaker. It's a gift for the people of Malaita, and I will be traveling to Japan soon to sign this project. The ministry is currently working hard to negotiate with our partners for the improvement of our facilities in our province. Mr. Speaker, it will require a significant investment to maintain our health facilities in our rural communities in the light of our scarce resources. Therefore, I am calling and reaching out to all the members of Parliament, both the opposition and the government side in this Honourable House, to consider an allocation of percentage of the constituency funds for the health sector to prioritise the construction of staff houses, including improvement below water, sanitation facilities that align or attach to this health facilities here. Law CDF Act 2023, Law Clause 26, subsection A, him telling me about the utilization of the fund, can also be used to assist the ministry towards improvement of our health infrastructures across 50 constituency below Yumi. Mr. Speaker, while I'm on health infrastructure and on the NRH relocation, my ministry had worked hard and will continue to do in its effort to align to the 3 stages as recommended by the National Referral Hospital business case. Mr. Speaker, there are 3 phases to the NRH business case, and allow me to provide to this Honourable House on where now Mifala in terms of responding to these 3 phases. Phase 1 of the business case is to improve the current National Referral Hospital, which is currently an ongoing activity. I would like to make mention of the following improvements that my ministry has made, and these major efforts include, number 1, the ongoing construction of the Comprehensive Medical Center supported by the People's Republic of China at a cost of $90 million SBD. Among the services that will be provided at the new center will include comprehensive quality healthcare services for patients with heart diseases, kidney diseases, prosthetic diseases, as well as highly specialized interventions for non-communicable diseases and their complications. The center will also provide specialized services in the Chinese medicine, acupuncture, mikokolemia. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, the improvement and refurbishment of the NRH Accident and Emergency Department, fully funded by SIG at the cost of SBD 1.9 million. So if you go lo emergency, but you look in hemgaram glass and savala improvement lo there compared lo past. We must include, Mr. Speaker, all this achievement because health is the headline of public criticism. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the construction of the CT scan building and the installation of the CT scan equipment fully supported by SIG at a cost of $30 million. Number 4, the establishment of the high dependency unit, 14 beds capacity that am attached the medical ward, which is supported by the Government of Australia. And again, thank you to the government and the people of Australia that have me worth Australian dollar 854,000, that is equivalent to around 4.772 million SBD. The refurbishment of the NRH biomolecular laboratories supported by the Government of Australia again at the cost of AUD 181,000, equivalent to around 1.012 million SBD. 6th, the construction and installation of the oxygen production plant under the European Union and WHO support that now able to produce 200 cylinders to supply the hospital with its oxygen supply. And therefore, this initiative actually have some saving to the ministry's budget. Other completed and ongoing efforts for the improvement of NRH and in responding to phase 1 of the business case are: number one, medical ward renovation and structural upgrades completed in 2022. Surgical ward, diabetic side ward renovation and structural upgrades in 2023. Surgical ward, acute and general side currently on repair. The erection of the rehab workshop funded by the Solomon Islands Forest Tree Foundation. Additional 7 to 10 beds for post-delivery and postnatal mothers was built in 2021. Maintenance and repair of the hospital wards and ablution blocks. A newly dialysis arc building in preparing for the repositioning for 3 dialysis machines. These are part of the Chinese medical team and its ongoing training. Ongoing training at subspecialist level for the preparation of the completion of the comprehensive medical center would also undergo. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to acknowledge our development and donor partners, including the Government of Australia, the People's Republic of China, for their efforts on the ongoing development and improvement of the current National Referral Hospital. Mr. Speaker, allow me now briefly highlight a couple of the efforts that we are going to do in responding to the phase 2 of the business case. Phase 2 is to improve the Honora City Council urban health clinics. While phase 2 is currently being mapped and planned out, this requires urgent and committed budgetary support to enable the improvement of HCC urban clinic facilities, improvements and development. As part of our response, Mr. Speaker, to phase 2, we are indebted to the Government of Australia for the Naha betting facility construction that will commence work in July 2024 and will be a first for the country and will enable high-quality betting services provided to our new mothers and their babies in a modern, safe environment outside of the National Referral Hospital. The betting center will have the capacity for up to 1,500 low-risk deliveries per year, and this will greatly assist with reducing the workload on the NRH's delivery wards and NRH's overworked midwifery staff. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, in also easing and lessening the burden at the National Referral Hospital, outpatients, our immediate priority, as linked to our 100-day policy that will be launched, Mr. Speaker, is to make immediate improvement and refurbishment of the Kukum Health Clinic to allow the facility to work on a 24/7 health services so that other people blow me here, because today we talk about CBD. Yeah, so we need enough to make him to Kukum Clinic, him run 24 hours so that he must have access him healthcare services there. Going forward, we will be embarking on the improvement of Boko Navera, as well as Rove and White River Health facilities. Phase 3 of the business case of NRH, Mr. Speaker, is a course of relocation of the National Referral Hospital to Gilbert Camp. While ad hoc efforts, including fencing of the site, UXO, and surveys have been conducted, my ministry will again review and revisit the effort and explore opportunities in progressing this phase. Mr. Speaker, our health skilled workforce density is among the lowest in the Pacific countries and territories, and we are facing a triple burden of chronic skilled health workforce shortages. Me included too, before me MP, me work a 24-hour too. And so this is one of our issues. Inequitable distributions and insufficient numbers to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal targets by 2023. To ensure our provinces and our rural areas have adequate staff and skill mix, to which we need to invest on improving staff houses in the rural areas and increase position for recruitment of staff to fulfill their critical roles. today me brief with them colleague minister of the Ministry of Public Service. We have 54 doctors that we need to recruit, and thus therefore we will have to create new positions for them. And basically, the rural areas now you may need him staka health workers there. Mr. Speaker, I am calling on my honourable colleagues to do consider and support the building of health worker staff houses in locations where there are health facilities being maintained and improved. Under the National Health Strategy Plan 2022 to 2031, my ministry will institutionalize clinical governance, a system for continuously improving the quality of services and safeguarding high standards of care by creating an environment in which excellence in clinical care is promoted. This is to ensure that the health workforce puts patients first and center in their work. Mr. Speaker, many of our health legislations need review to meet the health services realities today and to the future. A good example is the declaration of the state of emergency at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, simply because existing health laws lack provisions for traveling restrictions and other measures that were enforced during the pandemic. A new public health emergency bill that was initially with the Bill's Legislative Committee, which will be revised to accommodate all public health aspects, including health emergencies, will allow the Ministry of Health and Medical Services and other government sectors to respond to future outbreaks without the need of state emergency. Another important legislation, Mr. Speaker, is within the ministry is currently developing a policy paper on the health administration law to replace the Health Service Act that we have. Ministry of Health and Medical Services has resolved beyond the provision of the Health Service Act. The overarching goal of the new legislation is to address the governance of the health sector, including clarifying roles and functions of the national and subnational government, as well as other sectors involved in the health space. As previously stated, the new legislation will help to regulate the establishment of both public and private healthcare providers to ensure patient safety and better collaboration between various stakeholders is seen, Mr. Speaker. There are, of course, other ongoing legislation reviews that the Ministry of Health and Medical Services will work on this year and over the next 4 years, Mr. Speaker. We have an idea of establishing the Solomon Islands Health Commission, and within the 100 days policy, we will think on how now we will establishing. Mr. Speaker, I have briefly presented an overview of the health sector and also briefly highlighted the key challenges. The ministry has been in discussion concerning its contributions towards the government of national unity and transformation, the GNAT 100 days policy priority. In my view of that, the Ministry of Health and Medical Services consider a number of areas of immediate priorities. The first is the need to ensure that uninterrupted access to essential medicine and supplies. A paper will be drafted which will be highlighted specific actions required to mitigate the challenges that we faced for Cabinet for considering. Second is the need to reopen the Kukum clinic that is currently closed due to termites. In longer time, upgrading Kukum and selected clinics in Honiara to relieving overcrowding at NRIs will be seriously looked into. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, to you and to the members of this House for your attention to my maiden speech today, both for my constituency and the Ministry of Health. Today, these are trying times, Mr. Speaker, to say the least, and it is important that the members of this Parliament, whether in government or opposition, that we need to stand together to contribute and ensure the health of our people is our priority. May God bless and continue to protect Solomon Islands from shore to shore. Mr. Speaker, I support the motion and I resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister for Health. Let me give the floor now to the Honourable Leader of the Independent. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for recognizing the Leader of the Independent Group and member for East Harare. And on the outset, it is indeed a privilege to be able to represent the Independent Group at this time here in this 12th Parliament. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to contribute to the debate that the Prime Minister has kindly moved, allowing us to also make a contribution. The Sine-Die motion that at the adjournment of Parliament on Monday, the 17th June 2024, the present meeting shall be concluded and Parliament shall then stand adjourned sine die. Thank you very much. I think at the outset, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to also lend my congratulations to you for leading us again in this 12th Parliament. Your historic election by acclamation, unopposed, is one that is going to go down in history of our Parliament in Solomon Islands. So congratulations on behalf of the people of East Harare to yourself, your good family as well. I would also like to take this time to say congratulations to all of us who have made it through the fire of elections to be here in this 12th Parliament. It is something that is not for the faint-hearted. I think for us to be here and for you to be here in this 12th Parliament is not something to be taken lightly. It is something that you went for and your people supported you in allowing you to be here, to be their voice. So once again, congratulations to all 50 who have made it to this roundhouse, as they say, on the side of the hill of Abai Ridge. Thank you very much for all your support, for your people, allowing you to come here and represent them. So once again, congratulations. Congratulations as well at this time to the Prime Minister for your election to this seat of power in Solomon Islands. You as head of government, you are our Prime Minister, even though some of us didn't vote for you during the Prime Minister elections. You being elected, you are now our Prime Minister for Solomon Islands, and we will do our best to support you as well, because we love our country and we want our country to be the best that it can be with the potential that it has. So once again, congratulations, and of course congratulations to the Cabinet that you have appointed. Mr. Speaker, sir, congratulations to the Prime Minister for appointing the Cabinet, and of course the government. Congratulations as well for GNUT. There was some confusion. In the beginning there was CNUT, but I think it's now fair that we are now known as GNUT. Just as well, my colleague from West Harare and I are not in government, otherwise it will be called Arakanat. So I think we are very happy that the GNUT is there, and currently devoid of Arakas in there, otherwise it will be Arakanat's government. But thank you very much for putting a government in place in record time. And I think we are looking forward to seeing what it is that you have in store for the people of this country as we move forward in this Parliament as well. I note, Mr. Speaker, sir, that there will be a 100-day policy launching tomorrow. And I know that perhaps it might be better to wait until we hear that as well, but I think in the interest of time that I be given the opportunity to say my bit at this time. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the Prime Minister mentioned that there's going to be a court case, already a court case being filed. That is something that we should welcome. I think the need to develop our jurisprudence when it comes to issues of constitutional matters, it's always good to test it in our courts, the other arm of government, so that they can give us a direction as well legally and constitutionally. So I think I appreciate the spirit in which the Prime Minister has alluded to that there is a case before the courts. He will not comment, of course, because that is our custom, but I think the spirit in which he has alluded to that case and welcoming and allowing it to proceed, of course he has no power to stop it, but the fact that he has alluded to it is something that I think we should welcome. that this is important, that if there are issues that we need to reconcile with our constitution, then we can do that, and allow the courts to play their part there as well. And of course, we trust that cases that go before our courts are of such gravity that they are warranted to be heard as well. We don't want to use our courts for cases that might not be meaningful. But we trust that this one is one of those that is important enough to warrant consideration by the courts. In terms of the fiscal issues that we now face, I think that is clear. We also heard as well earlier today the remarks by the Minister for Finance that he had pretty much laid bare what the situation that we face as a country. I commend him as well in terms of his genuineness, his seriousness in laying down what he did this morning. I must say, Mr. Speaker, sir, in the last House I was also here, but I haven't heard a Member of Parliament or a Minister being as candid as our current Minister for Finance. And that is something that at least we welcome as an independent group on this side, that candidness is what we need. And in fact, our people just want to hear the real situation. The idea that perhaps we might be politically bound to perhaps not tell the full truth is something that is important in politics. But I think we are now at a time where we want to hear what the real story is and how we can all help to make it work. So that is something that, at least from this side of the House, we very much appreciate hearing from the Minister earlier this morning. Trade issues is very important. As the Prime Minister mentioned, that is the engine of growth. They say that trade makes the world go around. It is very true. If you look at the trajectory of the People's Republic of China as well, the GDP increase correlates with the joining of the World Trade Organization as well in 2001, sorry. So that is something that we know, that even a country as big as China, with all it has done to alleviate poverty in that country, is linked towards its trade and its allowance to be able to be a partner in trade in the World Trade Organization. So that is something that is very clear. All countries are aware of that. At the same time, the PRC non-reciprocal access bilateral agreement is of interest because we know that we are an LDC. As an LDC country, we are also accorded some special and differential treatment under the WTO rules. And that is already there. We are able to trade the so-called EBA, everything but arms. And that is something that is already in black and white in the World Trade Organization's agreements. And I think there are special considerations already for least developed countries under the Hong Kong round of the WTO leading up to the Bali rounds as well. From 2005 onwards, there's always been a focus on least developed countries already. So we shouldn't be so excited when it comes about non-reciprocal trade. That is something that is already there in the books. That is something that is there already that we can benefit from as a least developed country. And I'm also quite concerned about the fact that if that is the case, then it's only until we graduate from LDC status. I think it needs to be re-looked at, that if that is the case indeed, then it should stretch beyond the graduation from LDC for smooth transition, so that we have a few more years of trading so that we get used to the world trading system, particularly with a bilateral partner like China, a PRC. I note, although, Mr. Speaker, sir, that China has a trade deficit in terms of Solomon Islands trading, we actually export more to China than they export to us. So the non-reciprocity of the agreement is something to watch, because I'm sure as a country they would like to trade as well into another country. So that is something just to watch that space to ensure that the non-reciprocity access bilateral is indeed that, and that we don't get caught up in other issues of trade that comes in later on. But it's very, very important and welcome that we continue to trade with our partners. Mr. Speaker, sir, as you know, there's also the PACER Plus. PACER Plus agreement that Solomon Islands has already signed on to, that includes all the Pacific Island countries plus Australia and New Zealand. The plus comes because of Australia and New Zealand being part of PESA Plus. That is something that I'm waiting to hear perhaps in the 100-day policy, that there will be some mention there as well in terms of how we can really move into kicking start that particular process as well, and implementation really, seeing that we've already signed the agreement for PESA Plus. And then perhaps looking closer to home within the Pacific Islands as well, we've got other trade agreements in the past that we have done with our partners, trade partners that are nearby. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I recall back in 1980s, there was this closer economic relations that Australia had with New Zealand. And at that time, it was very interesting. I think it's one of the first trade agreements between two countries for free trade, zero tariff. And people were making fun of these two countries. They were saying, what are they going to export to each other? Sheep? They're going to export each other's sheep to each other? Ako kata Australia kekem subsiblo New Zealand, or New Zealand kekem subsiblo Australia numa. But yes, in the end, it turned out to be one of the world's best bilateral trade agreements. What it shows is that we are open to trading with each other, even in the Pacific. Trade our fish for other Pacific's fish. Trade whatever agricultural produce we have with another Pacific country, much closer to home. Ibi no sabe tu no botot lo bilnat la kem trade lo PNG tu etem bilnat. Maybe about preferem salmon buai o mi no sabe. But these are opportunities, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we should be reminded of, that instead of perhaps focusing, or on top of focusing with our much larger trading partners, we also have our Pacific region, much closer to home, that we can also strike up trade agreements with, that we can work together. And I think if we start small there, we can end up, just like Australia and New Zealand, they're becoming each other's biggest trading partners until now, later on. I think New Zealand is now Australia's fifth trading partner, largest trading partner, because there are other bigger players now. But for New Zealand, Australia is seen as still one of the biggest trading partners for them. So that is something that we can look into, Mr. Speaker, sir, as well. And I would like to perhaps tender this advice to the government, GNUT, to also look into these opportunities that are closer to home, and look at things that we can trade that perhaps might be whimsical or might be funny to those that are looking at us, but for Pacific Islanders, this is what drives our economies. We know that Bilnat is what's driving Honiara economy. And that is something that we know every day we see. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, these are issues that are very important for us not to sweep under the rug or the mat, and to bring to the table. If we are talking about trade, we have to look at the whole range of trading partners. Not just focus on one or two, look at the whole range, and some of them might be closer to home. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also appreciate and support the Prime Minister's appreciation for our development partners in terms of their support for our nation. We will continue to be a least developed country for the next few years until we graduate, I understand, hopefully at the end of 2027. But even after that, we will continue to need assistance and support from our partners moving forward. We can have dreams about being a donor ourselves, Mr. Speaker said, but those dreams are still far away. We have to focus on what we can do and try to make the best of the assistance that we get from our partners. Sometimes I feel, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we just need to tell the partners what our priorities are, what our real priorities are. And we ensure that we stick to those priorities, Mr. Speaker, sir, and don't wander around. Today's priority is different from tomorrow's priority. Stick with what our priorities are, and I think our partners will also appreciate that consistency in terms of the allocation of support that they are willing or able to give to us from their taxpayers as well. Mr. Speaker, sir, mention was made as well of the standing orders, and that is something that indeed we have to pay tribute to yourself, Mr. Speaker, sir, in pushing this agenda forward with your staff in terms of reviewing and reforming some of the standing orders that we have. since independence, and as mentioned by the Prime Minister, this is a welcomed effort that I'm happy that the Prime Minister will continue to support with GNAT, and we look forward to working together with you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the National Parliament in getting on with this work, important work as well. And linked perhaps to that is this Constituency Boundaries Commission that was raised as well by the Prime Minister. Indeed, Section 54 does mention that 10 years lapse, there should be reviews again, regardless of the outcome of the previous reviews. And I think it's time that we look into it. There were some good suggestions already made by Central Honera as well, with regards to the work that needs to be looked into this moving forward. And that is something that we look forward to engaging in. And if we look at some of the issues that are outlined in Section 54 with regards to the numbers and the division or the distribution of our population countrywide and what is needed there, then indeed there is a need for us to really work closely on that moving on. That could be something that this Parliament could focus on as well, and I think we welcome what the Prime Minister is already signalling in this particular area of Constituency Boundaries Commission and the reviews, the ongoing work that is still there. It is very important, Mr. Speaker, sir, to link this work with that of our census. So the census has already occurred a few years ago, and of course it gives us the latest data in terms of our population and the size and projection. So I think it's always important that we don't forget to link this particular work with the important work that the census also adds, because I think it adds a value to the work that we're doing in terms of increasing our constituencies. Mr. Speaker, so I see there's still a lot of space here in the middle for some chairs and desks in the middle here to increase the number of representation for our people in Solomon Islands. So I think we should really seriously look into that. And if there is indeed a model or a formula that we get into, then we should try to stick with those as well. And of course, with the provisos, as alluded to by the Minister for Finance as well, in terms of provisos that are provided under Section 54 as well of our Constitution, in terms of the considerations that we will need to factor in this discussion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also agree with the Prime Minister for his focus on the need for us to celebrate our independence. I think that's something that, as a nation, everybody knows that Independence Day is the biggest holiday of any country that is a sovereign nation and an independent state, that we should have that culture of celebration of our independence back to our people, and a sense of patriotism be allowed to perhaps fill the air during the 7th of July or the week leading up to the 7th of July. And I agree with the Prime Minister that sometimes we don't have to wait for funding to come. There's some initiatives that we can take ourselves where we can as Solomon Islanders to recognize that important day of our history. But I think it's very important that those of us who can celebrate that day go and do that, and be patriotic in supporting our country through the celebration of our independence. These are important times and occasions for us to continue to harness our nationhood, and of course continue to build our nation together. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's also very, very timely that we look at our elections that have just gone and the time for reforms that might need to be done in terms of our electoral laws and processes. I think there are definitely room for improvement in terms of our election processes and laws. We know and we thank those of our police and international forces who were here to enable a peaceful election. And that did happen, so we thank them very much for their support for us during those trying times. But elections should not be trying times, or times for insecurity. I think elections should be times for celebration of our democracy. But we know that through our history, there's always been issues around violence, around elections. And we hope that this last election, we have turned a tide in that. And I very much appreciate the same sentiments by the Prime Minister in his early statements earlier on, that yes, it was noted that this was elections, that violence was kept to a bare minimum. And that is something that we should welcome and encourage as Solomon Islands, modern nation moving forward. We should embrace elections and all that it has to offer as an opportunity for us to see who we want to represent us in our highest bodies, both now historically 2 elections, well really 3, for the national, the provincial and the Honiara city. So that was very much a welcome support there by our police as well as visiting forces that helped ensure law and order. But I think when it comes to reform of elections, we really need to look much more deeply into this. And I would ask the Prime Minister to bring in any reforms earlier rather than later. I think it's fair to say that last Parliament, the 11th Parliament, we were looking at some reforms, but again, it was right a few months before the dissolving of Parliament. So I think it's important that we look at these issues early. And I would encourage the Prime Minister, your Cabinet, to bring in any reforms that you may have. I'm sure there are, so that Parliament can really look at it early and deal with it. It is that serious that we should not leave it for last minute, Mr. Speaker said. Some of the suggestions would be around out-of-constituency voting. I think it's fair to say that that's a very expensive exercise for our voters, supporters of candidates who are trying to support people going to places of voting. If we can find ways whereby votes can be casted outside of the constituency for a particular constituency, I think that would help the process moving forward. We know that urbanization is a reality for us here in Solomon Islands, just as it is the case around the world as well. So we know that people in our provinces will be drifting to Honiara and back. As a member for Central Honiara says, yes, this is where everything happens, Central Honiara. So Honiara, I think I'm sweet to us. Everyone like come here. But the idea is to bring them back when they want to go back and vote. So I think we need to find a way to make it easier. It shouldn't be difficult to allow somebody to exercise their democratic right. We shouldn't make it difficult. I think we should try and make it a bit more easier so that people can exercise that right a bit more easily without the hardship of having to travel, the risks that they take, the elderly, women and children traveling. That is something that I'm sure GNAT can have some reforms that can come in as well. Political parties as well is a very much welcome character I see of the last elections. I think political party, the encouragement of political parties is something that is starting to change the landscape of Solomon Islands politics, and it's to be welcomed. Of course, independents have every right as well to contest, and that is fine as well, but I think with regards to political parties and our policies, differences in policies, all of that is helpful to all of our voters who are out there looking to cast their vote and to making a judgment as to who, which party they might be voting for or who they might be voting for. I think it's fair to say in our culture, Mr. Speaker, sir, that the culture or the cult of personality, somebody that people want is going to still be number one. That is something that we cannot get rid of. People don't look at parties, people just look at the person. And that is fine. I think that is going to be with us for some time. And I think if we're truthful, many of our democracies around the world also follow that particular trend. So it's not something that is just specific to us. But I think at the same token, it's also good to promote party politics as well. While of course leaving room for independents if they're not affiliated with any party at all or don't support any particular policies at all, or probably have their own policies for themselves. But it's something that we should really look into. And I think one of the ways to do it is to make it really open in terms of the financing aspect of it. Make it really clear that when it comes to parties, the financing threshold will be higher. The amount of money that the party can spend be higher than that of an individual. Those sort of things might help to promote party. Link that to the registration of party members. If a party has more members, then they are allowed to spend more over a certain threshold. If a party has less number, maybe their threshold is this much. But make it open, make it public so that it is not hidden, so that everybody knows that the party that they're supporting is a popular party with many members in it. And the membership is published and everybody is aware of how many members are in a particular party and therefore how much they are able to spend come an election, given they've passed certain thresholds. Do something like that, perhaps. And then when it comes to policing and looking after party hopping, or we call it a Solomon, what name we call him, a grasshopper, in order to look at that particular issue. I think what has been raised in terms of our constitution and the freedom of movement, freedom of expression, is definitely needs to be protected. But I think there might be penalties that can be given to a sending and a receiving party, not necessarily affecting the actual movement that's already happened. But come the next election, perhaps, as an example, the party that sends will not be allowed to run in the constituency of the person that left. Same with the party that receives. In that case, you move the penalty towards the party at a future date, not affecting the consciousness of the person who wants to move, but knowing there's a consequence to the parties that they belong to. Maybe those kinds of ideas could be discussed and shared so that we can help and develop again our politics as party politics, as well as safeguarding our constitution at the same time and allowing for freedoms of conscience and people making decisions. If they really need to move, they can move, but knowing that the party that they belong to might be penalized down the line. These are just ideas, Mr. Speaker, sir. But I think the idea here is that it's worth discussing them earlier rather than later. So I'm encouraging the government again to bring reforms to elections much, much earlier rather than right at the last year or a few months before the dissolving of Parliament. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I said the same thing at the 11th Parliament in my first maiden speech as well, about the need to look at reforms early. And what happened then? We looked at them right at the end. I'm all right, and we continue for water. Mr. Speaker, sir, when it comes to the economy, I think it's clear that a small island economy like ours, we're always going to be open to shocks. We are exposed, so we're open to exogenous shocks that come. There's nothing we can do to stop those shocks from coming. But we can build our resilience in terms of mitigating those shocks when they do arrive. And some of those have already been mentioned by the Minister, Finance earlier, Honourable, a member for Central Honiara, as well as others. I think those actions, I think we'll do better if we heed them in terms of moving forward together. As a small island nation, we know that we cannot benefit from economies of scale. Market blumia and small and molwena. Kota seman bakam bayam ringke no bakam babayam. Imino expect many new man mo. That is what it means to have a small economy. As a small country, some people are talking about, oh, we need to be independent, break away, form our own. But you're creating a smaller market when you want to do that. We need all of us together. Solomon Islands, we need all of us together. We create a bigger market. And that's something that when it comes to political considerations, we should not forget. The economics of being small is something that we need to work towards overcoming together. And it has political connotations as well when it comes to some of the discussions that we are having here, including those that are saying that perhaps we should have more autonomy here or clean break. These things should be really considered carefully because they have repercussions in the economic sphere. While it might make sense politically, we should also consider economic tentative actions and outflows from those actions that we take that will impact on the economies of countries. including small countries like ours, is something that we are very much aware of. And I think moving forward, Mr. Speaker, sir, we know that we are still very much based on our natural resources base, raw resource. All our logs, most of them are round logs getting exported, no downstream processing, or very little downstream processing. The need for value addition before export, I think, is something that the government should really look into as much as possible. And where it is possible, to try and do that. You create jobs, and at the same time, you increase the value of your exporting product. Mr. Speaker, sir, I always say that Solomon Islands is an exporting country. We are a country ready for export, ripe for export. Why do I say that? I say that because Solomon dollar is very low at the moment. Production costs are based on Solomon Islands dollar. The cost of our employment of our people, labor, still based on Solomon dollar. And yet we trade in US dollars, which is now probably 9 times Solomon dollar. It's good for us, good for our foreign reserves. And that is something that I think we are ripe for. And again, the agriculture sector, I think, is where the focus should be. Agriculture has been and will always be, at least for some time, the economic base of Solomon Islands. We are blessed, Mr. Speaker, sir, because while we are a small island country, we have fertile grounds, volcanic, land mass big enough that we can do agricultural activities on. And on top of that, the United Nations, through the law of the sea, has given us 200 miles out from our coasts of ocean space, through which we can also gain economic benefits from. And if you look at it, Mr. Speaker, sir, you will find that if those laws are implemented as they are now and enforced, there are more ocean than land for Solomon Islands. We should look into what is in our oceans. Indeed, we've been focusing on fish, and I've been hearing as well from the Minister that fish looks good for this year. Looks like climate is favorable and all of that. So that is encouraging. But I think our ocean is much more than fish. We know that there are bio-products down there as well. Biodiversity, pharmaceuticals are interested in what is under our sea for medicinal purposes. Let us work towards building up relations with these interested groups who are looking at what is below our ocean. I understand, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we have a lot of seamounts in Solomon Islands. Seamounts are where these vents come up from the deep soil under the earth, the crust. And it just so happens that it's around those seamounts that you have the biodiversity rich that pharmaceuticals are interested in looking at, exploring. It's around those seamounts as well that you found things like polymetallic nodules that produce minerals are also around these seamounts as well. So these are areas that we should be open to exploring. We know that there are talks about the environmental issues surrounding sea mining, seabed mining, but let us look into those issues as well, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let us explore them a bit deeper before we make decisions on whether it is bad for our environment. Let us see where they are located first. Let us do the due diligence part. Work with those who are interested to do that, spend money to do that, before we can make a call on whether we can continue with these sorts of ventures. Mr. Speaker, sir, you know, right now we can partner. We can already partner with developed countries and companies in mining seabed in the high seas, the so-called common heritage of mankind. Let us link up with those companies and countries who are looking to do that. If Nauru can do it, Tonga, Cook Islands, why not Solomon Islands? Why are we sitting? Why can't we be part of these adventures moving forward? Let us explore as much as possible, Mr. Speaker, sir, areas where we can utilize areas that are already guaranteed to us by international law that we can utilize. That is something that we should continue to look into and not have any obstacles at this time. Continue to explore. Do what we can until you get to a stage where you need to do something practically. That's when you make a decision, if it is environmentally harmful, Mr. Speaker said. But that is our sovereign right to do so. And I would encourage us to do that, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I mentioned earlier, the remarks by the Minister of Finance was one of the most welcomed remarks that I've heard over the span of life of Parliament that I've been here. That means the last Parliament, and now we're starting the 12th. And I say that because, not of its contents in particular, because it is quite worrying. It is a concern, as he himself alluded to. But I say that in the sense that he laid out what was there. He laid out our situation bare, what we needed to do, where the obstacles are, where we might need to take immediate action, where we need to work together, where he might need to work harder, speak to our partners, so that they can also live up to their commitments. I think that in itself is a welcome breath of fresh air in this 12th Parliament. And if this is going to be the mode of operation for GNAT, particularly when it comes to our finance, then it's something that we welcome very much. Especially here as an independent group, we very much welcome this kind of open consultations and dialogue. Sometimes it's hard and difficult because it is clear to everybody in Solomon Islands that GNAT is really DCGA+. That is the reality. Same government Barnoma, you will sit down here. And in a way, you will admit him that some of the policies have left it off. That is why we're here at this time now. And that takes courage to do that, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I welcome that. So GNAT, for many of us, it's DCGA+, whether you like it or not. That's how we see it. So that is a real test of courage to come out and lay it all out. Some of the numbers given I've never heard. I think this is something that is given in Cabinet or caucus. I appreciate very much the Minister giving it to the whole Parliament now, that we are now aware about what it is that we're struggling with. Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, as you know, the budget we pass here are not just the budget of DCGA or GNAT, it's the budget of the Parliament. We are also voting for the budget, all of us here. So it's only fair that we hear back the real stories of what is happening. But what is clear is that the Games itself is not the economic savior that has been preached about for so long. In fact, we're hearing that the Games is part of the issue. Staka charges still left yet from Games. Staka contractors no pay yet. The Games itself was not the savior, rather it was the economic hole. It added to digging a deeper hole for us. And a realization and acceptance of that is welcome. Let us find ways to get out of this hole. Get out of it fast and not dig deeper. Dig deeper part here now. Honourable Member for Central Honera, I mentioned him. The 140 million, what it might mean for us as a country. And on this particular issue, I just feel that due diligence is not yet done in terms of this exercise. I would call on the government, the NPF board, whoever is in the due diligence unit of the NPF, have you done your due diligence on this? Because I just don't feel that we have done that. From the bits of information that are coming out to us, many of which have been alluded to already by Central Honiara. I think it would be a disservice to our nation if that due diligence is not done, and then we find ourselves in an even bigger hole, that one we're trying to climb out of. We're all trying to help get us back on our feet and moving forward. But at the same time, I think it's fair to call for due diligence by all our authorities to make sure that they've done their bit and that political interference is kept to a minimum, if not zero, when it comes to these assessments. That is for the good of the nation, Mr. Speaker said. And I think I would like to stand in support. If that is not yet done, I would like to support as well the member for Central Honiara in calling for a stop until the due diligence is done, until we are much more clearer as to who the beneficiaries would be. That is something that is still not clear to many Solomon Islanders. Put a stop, ensure due diligence is done, ensure there is no political interference, minimum at the most, and then we'll see how we can move forward. But it doesn't make sense, Mr. Speaker, sir, when we're trying to do something and then we're shooting ourselves in the foot. That is something that we need to stop doing. That we should all be on the same page moving forward. Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, honestly and truthfully, some of the actions that the Minister for Finance was outlining to take on the exemptions in particular is something that is very much tough but is welcomed. Is welcomed. So much going out because of exemptions. And yet at the same time, we're getting ourselves as well into a situation that perhaps we shouldn't be in. We shouldn't be injecting ourselves into a situation where we don't have a role to play in the first place. And indeed, bankruptcy laws dictate that when they do occur, then liquidators are appointed and the process takes its course. If a sovereign government wants to be involved in a private dealing, then we'll have to do it through due diligence. Make sure all the boxes are ticked before we commit our own funds, taxpayers, and those of our SOEs into a venture that might come back to haunt us. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, going forward for this 12th Parliament, for us, we are looking for a vision that we hope to see outlined perhaps a little bit tomorrow in terms of where GNAT is looking to take us, the country forward. A vision is something that is so important in terms of what we need to do as leaders. Some visions are only a few years old, long, some are decades. We look forward to seeing what the vision is. There will be details in the policies. There will be a lot of action plans outlined. But for some of us, we'll be looking for the vision. Where is it that GNAT wants to take this nation? Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, there has been comments the 11th Parliament about some of us and how we cannot just be in government to help the nation move forward. The bottom line was that some of us felt the vision was not where something we shared. Where we were going was not where some of us thought we should be going. So that is why we're looking forward to a vision that is going to be put forth to the nation. All of us here, each citizen of this country, is looking forward to see what that vision is going to be from GNAT. And if that vision is something that we can all help to get along and move up our country with, then yes, we're all willing to do our part in doing that and moving us towards that vision. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, if that vision is something that is divisive, And if it's something that's controversial and something that doesn't put us on the path we think we should be going on, then we will not have that collaboration that we're looking for in terms of moving us forward as well. It starts with all of us. It starts with us at the constituency level, but it ends with us here in Parliament, including in our relations that we have with our development partners. We cannot say we will need support from our partners and at the same time criticize Western values that many of our partners are. That is something we should be very mindful of. If we need to take a stand on an issue, we take it together. Let us know beforehand too, so that we can also stand united. We know that some of the values that are coming through the democracy systems are not values that we stand for as a nation. That is a given, we know that. But that doesn't diminish the bigger picture in what democracies should be, in what democracy's potential can be, in what democracy has led to the world that we are now living in and are currently enjoying, including here in Solomon Islands, trying to find our path in terms of what democracy means for us. If that vision is something that is another system of government, then count some of us out. Because some of us will continue to fight for democracy and freedom. That is why we are here in the first place, because we believe in those values. But if it's another system, then it's something that is a different vision from what it is we envision for us. Not only us sitting here in this house that are privileged enough to be here, Mr. Speaker, sir, but I'm talking about the children of Solomon Islands, our own children, the country that they will be growing up in. What is the future of that country? That is the big picture that gets some of us excited about where it is we're going. Because if that big picture, Mr. Speaker, sir, is not there, or is not something we share, then I'm afraid we cannot come along with you. I believe so, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we are on the same boat here. We are in the same boat. And if there are differences that we have, those differences are only on policy issues. And perhaps not even just on policy issues, but perhaps on the implementation of those policies. We can have differences there. But if we can have other differences, if we have differences on issues that are even much more broader in terms of the vision of where this country needs to be heading, then that is an issue for some of us. Mr. Speaker, sir, at this time I'd just like to say a few words in reflection of the recent elections that many of us have been through, and note as well as perhaps a character of democracy is that it can be combative. It can be adversarial. And in our country of tribal divides, we take it to the next level when it comes to elections. People are so vested in elections, take it so personally, that sometimes wives and husbands don't speak to each other just because of elections. And that is something that we have to live with as a nation that believes in democracy. We will need to help each other understand the process moving forward better as to why we're doing this, and this is not against you. It is not against incumbents. We are not competing against each other. We are competing for a seat that is vacant at a point in time. And that seat is open for anybody who wants to contest. Those kinds of understanding needs to be shared with our people. Much more as we move forward, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I think that's part of the work as well, us here in Parliament, including your good officers and many of the other civil society groups that are out there to move the word forward, is that democracy is not something that is particularly Solomon, but is something that modern countries have adopted as a system for governance. And we are not contesting against each other, we are contesting for a seat that is empty. That seat doesn't belong to any of us. It's not a private business that is our company. No, the seat belongs to the constituency, it belongs to the people. Those kinds of awareness needs to be shared more with our people. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I think one of the things in terms of the reforms we should look into is when Parliament dissolves and when elections start. Because I think there is some advantage in having the dissolving of Parliament as closest to the ballot day as possible. I think that gives continuation of representation right until or close enough to the day of polling. A gap of 3 months might be too long. 4 months is really long in terms of non-representation or continuation of power. That is something perhaps for us to look into as well as part of the reforms, if indeed we want to do that. The other thing for us to also look into in terms of the work that we're doing here, and I know that yourself, Mr. Speaker, sir, are also looking seriously into this, is a calendar, a parliamentary calendar, so that we know where our meetings will be, when our meetings will be held. We know that we are now debating a Sine-Die motion. This is not a special motion. This is a Sine-Die. We don't know when the next Parliament will be meeting. Unlike the other one with a special adjournment, we knew that we had to come back on the 10th. This time around is Sine-Die, so we don't know. The Prime Minister, of course, under our Constitution and our current convention, will be consulting with you on the next Parliament. But I think it's only fair to us members so that we know our calendars. We might want to visit our constituencies or do something that we might need to do that we don't want to miss Parliament too. And I think it's only fair that we start looking into a calendar year for parliamentary meetings. And I think that's something that all of us here, if we really look deeply into it, we can all agree to, that I think it's important, not only for us, but for our people, for this nation, so that they know when we will be having parliament meetings moving forward. Mr. Speaker, sir. I would like to thank at this time, Mr. Speaker, sir, with your indulgence, my good people of East Harare, for seeing it fit to, again, give me another opportunity to come back here and represent them, to be their voice here in Parliament. I would like to thank them for their confidence and trust in me to come back here. I know that there was a couple of assessments that were done. Some political analysts were looking at my demise and perhaps thinking that PJK is not coming back. And that is something that is all part of politics. But I think our people in East Harare have spoken very clearly in terms of the bigger difference now in numbers, in terms of those who voted for me and those who voted for those that came second and third. I would like to say at this time, thank you to those who also took it upon themselves to put their hands up to contest elections in East Harare. It's not easy thing to do, to put yourself out in public like that, but I would like to thank them all the same for their interest in our democratic system. Thank all our people. Whether you supported me or not, I would like to welcome your support as your MP for this 12th Parliament, and I thank you very much. From the shores of Kakama up to the mountains of Tariuna, right down to the bays of Faulofo. Thank you so much for all the people of East Harare for your confidence in me and giving me another term. I would like to thank you all for listening to me at this time. Of course, I support this motion, and I look forward to all other debates that other colleagues are looking forward also to place here, so that we can all listen to see what it is and hear what it is that you have to contribute here, listen and learn from each other. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity, Prime Minister. for moving this motion. I support it, and I resume my seat.
Thank you, Honourable MP, for his early dog independent. Any other members who wish to contribute to the motion? Honourable MP for West Arare. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also join colleagues to briefly make a few observations and comments. Let me thank the Honourable Prime Minister for the motion he moved yesterday that at the adjournment of Parliament on Monday, 17th June 2024, the present meeting shall be concluded and Parliament shall then stand adjourned Sine-Die. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, Honourable Prime Minister, for this important motion, as shared and alluded to by earlier speakers, giving an opportunity for us, the members, 50 members of Parliament, to make observations, comment, and also contribute to the policy of your government. The Prime Minister, in his introduction of the motion, has pointed out certain areas and issues where hemi important for him to reflect on him. I wish to take a few moments, Mr. Speaker, just to reflect on those issues, and already highlighted by earlier speakers what the Prime Minister has pointed. Start off with the export and trade. I agree with you, Prime Minister. Imtol totoklohem, imtol karen potential, but connect him now. Imtol actioning. We've been talking about trade, export long enough. I think to our Parliament, as Central Honour pointed out, it's a good mix of experienced politicians, or young members of Parliament that will come in full of energy. Let's do it differently. Enough talking about export and trade. And I would like to see in the 100 days policy the clear direction that we are going to take in this regard. I think, Prime Minister, you have strongly alluded to driving the economy and investing all efforts and resources in growing our economy. Me, para supporting that one. The farmers' access to markets, also you touched on, Prime Minister. That is an area where IMTAL need for IMTAL reconnecting to. IMTAL saved this country. If farmers are there, IMTAL behind local and potentially pick him up, our economy will be rolling. Economy IMTAL before the 60s and 70s, coconut no more, and hamstrong. And I think that one IMTAL a little bit missing. Reconnecting what IMTAL current potential lohem, IMTAL connecting the right markets, niche market, and our economy should be strong enough to really sustain the need of our country and our people. So, me again supporting farmers' access and farmers' markets where policy IMTAL should really highlight them. The government priorities in infrastructure development, Prime Minister, I fully support this for Tintin. Let's continue to connect our people, our islands. See Hembara dividing Mimtolaba and Hemekem Mimtola very disadvantaged in terms of the comparatives. When we look at our potentials to market, to sell our commodities, especially link our farmers. So more investment in our infrastructure, wharves, for the islands Blimtola, for the ship, for the bridges, roads, Honorable Prime Minister, put investment in those infrastructure, connect our people so that they can be linked to our markets, particularly here in Honiara, and then to our export markets and destinations overseas, Mr. Speaker. I fully support the recommendation for the Boundary Commission that put him task force hem overdue, Prime Minister, has been highlighted in the required number of years under Section 54. Make him task force him wakal hem, make him luluk hem. So I think this fellow issue hemi with him at the constituencies blame tola. There are in the 50 constituencies. It's really unfair to some of the constituencies. What a big too much now in population. Some for constituency blame tola. You miss small number, medium, and then small in the population. And when you look at the pressures in the bigger populated population, we need to really look at how we're going to be fair to all, because it's people that we are talking about, setting policies for the people and their livelihood, and that is important. And so the work of the Boundary Commission, and if there needs to be a task force set as soon as possible and practical, meeting him, this is something by me para support him, so that hemi look low interest lo okata people blame tal. In fact, these current constituencies, population blogata, policies blame tal hemi make them okata bigger constituencies okata continue for struggle. They okata poor in comparison to other constituencies, smaller constituencies. And then when we share the resources through our ministries and our budget, Mr. Speaker, you look at him, same number. The piece cake, you share him, bara 50 pieces, him equal number, him equal. But this is really unfair to bigger populated constituencies. People block at some fella, by complain now, by not receiving any assistance from the constituency and also our Ministry of Rural Development, Mr. Speaker. So I think there is merit in looking at the need to review the decisions and recommendations earlier by Boundary Commission Task Force, Mr. Speaker. So the systems of government where Minister of Finance Hemi Levet Tatslohem very expensive to go into state government review lohem report come out federalism review report very costly, millions and millions. Even this provincial government by him to agree him no wasn't him no good lahem, wasn't him no good, Mr. Speaker. It is just that IMTL knows how to write something for IMTL for provincial government where IMTL establishing this system. Him should look after people good no more, but IMTL no even give him resources. The needed and appropriate budget resources where him should go local province. Him look akasimugat pa. And IMTL say system him no good. So IMTL look out them not a system ma. Prime Minister, I think you have in the policy will address this, but hemi good for IMTALA, no wasting limited resources for IMTALA, churching. But let's look at what needs to be done with the current system we have. And the provincial government, Mr. Speaker, meeting at the first thing where DCGA hemi tatry for tuim lo 11 Parliament revenue sharing revenue go lokata imistatim local province keep him selling go lokata make him look after people all in all that's the province looking after all our constituency and our people. So start off with him revenue sharing under the provincial act, Mr. Speaker, whilst IMTALA continue for review. So the struggling economy grew me encouraged by the statement shared by the Minister of Finance. Hem para kibim tol hope. I was really thinking that basket blimtol para empty for good, yeah. But Minister Hemi, give him that hope and encouragement. I'm really encouraged. By the way, the Minister of Finance Hemi put him, giving us that assurance, giving this nation the assurance that no, him all right. That all right now, Mr. Speaker. Me like him as a call for by the Minister of Finance, him to everyone put him heads together. Let's see what now by him to us with him, Mr. Speaker. So physical discipline, Hemi already called for. Discipline by him start nowhere, Mr. Speaker. Who now by him start him? As the leader of the independent Hemi, that's Lohem, Mr. Speaker. Good combination, DCGA with Zinat, if I make a good combination. I think now it's time where Zinat, but Hemi really take him into this discipline. If him start, let's look at blocking these linkages where Minister of Finance Hemi identify. Me first time we had him that bold statement in identifying linkages in our systems, our budget. Him to hear him no more. But Hemi come from the minister himself, Minister of Finance. And what number him to need for blocking mogat. Who number start blocking mogat, Mr. Speaker? We call on Parliament, fair enough, but it's government to take the lead. You start discipline. Coincide your ministries, we're now got the linkages here. And I would like to see in the 100 days emphasis on reforming the ministry, a lot of linkages inside of ministries. Those that you mean, and you mean, Save, a lot of linkages there. If you start for blocking Mogatia, that is exactly what the call to me, Minister of Finance, Hemi Meke, and Minimia. Start with your ministry, and then the physical discipline. Look, you members of Parliament now, ministers. Go down look at the officers before come to Parliament. If this country Hemi call for created this discipline from you, me, everyone, let's do it led by you, Prime Minister. Let's do it differently, and I think it's high time the 12 Parliament in Turkey. It's not going to be status quo, Mr. Speaker. But I'm telling to talk about no more, same. Last 3 times, me hear him, same no more. That is why me encourage, this is the 12th Parliament, call for all of us, working together, see what we can do, contribute for him to address him the need of this country, him to him. Country first time, people second. Mr. Speaker, I think that one meeting him right one, yeah. If him tell to him tell first time or whoever, friends play him tell first time, then by him not work. I think that discipline is now timely for him to strongly look at him and implement him, Mr. Speaker. So I've support that call for the fiscal discipline, make him grow more economy blame. So that discipline Hemi go inside revenue collection sources blame, Mr. Speaker. If him talking about the linkages, who now created, Mr. Speaker, last 5 years, who? Last 8 years, who? Mr. Speaker, if we are to really reflect on that question, I mean, Stakalu imtalo 12 Parliament, imtala in charge of those linkages. Maybe imtala contribute to him, imtala create more something. And so imtala call upon who? I think it's good for us to have humility, get this country right, and then imtala to him write something. Me but appreciate him that timely call, because some fella imtala inside 12 Parliament, from 11 Parliament, even 10 Parliament, imtala part of this fella linkage here, into a part of this mess here. If we are looking at taking tragic actions, Mr. Speaker, ay maokat exemption imtala totoklay, who not give him, Mr. Speaker, who not give him? If it is as the government, let's action. Let's do it for this country and the children of this country. Im tol no to him over something, yeah? Stop him now. And redirect him. Country blame tola, its economy, by the right actions, the appropriate actions, Mr. Speaker. Meeting, I think those are the discipline where Im tol baranitim. And we support him, Honorable Prime Minister, when you introduce him over the issues here for him to reflect on him. Mr. Speaker, reservations were by having a strategy for him to start for PPKM Revenue Minister of Finance him to him good. Me bara no support him. By him to continue for punishing more of the people bring to law rural, whereby okatana consumers okay something by him go back look at that. You just him man lo shipping company by who now him pay more something. By him go inside fair, yeah, by him go inside freight, yeah. And we are just killing our people in the remote villages, Mr. Speaker, where okata no receive many things. So the kind policy, meeting better policy, him stop it. Where him embrace him, people blame him, recognize him, the state where okata stop him, even medicine, but okata no pay, Mr. Speaker. And then him to take him on board, apply him right policy for him to raise him revenue, for him help him but for him to just make him normal and then by him pass on call of people blame Mr. Speaker. I really appreciate the colleague Minister for Health talking about his constituency contribution to the national economy. That is a comparative advantage this constituency and other constituencies they have over other constituencies. Me like him constituency me for him contribute also to the national economy. But in terms of the comparative advantage, maybe blow me down the ladder. And so me commenting the people of Northeast Kora Canal for the contribution, Central Kora Canal for their contribution to the national purse. As their constituency, God had me give him this nation for Okata contribute to awesome now. And me like for appreciating that one. And so, Mr. Speaker, when you look at the economics, people blame Tala, people lo here lo quale, Okata well of from people lo arena, where's that arena? Yeah, because Okata close to Okata revenue source. Oil palm lo there, noma, cassava lo there, you take them come lo market. Yeah, so those are things that we consider when we think about Solomon Islands as a country where because of the nature, we are island country, Mr. Speaker. And so some fella place advantage to him, some fella normal, and it's really up to the government for him to provide him now this whole policy, Mr. Speaker, for him help him, everyone bring done. So that reservation where Minister of Finance him happen no more every year, Mr. Speaker. Him happen every year. Put him reservation on there by development budget, him affected now. By him affected. And that one, him also slowing down the growth of our economy because our development budget, him no fully utilized. Mr. Speaker, you don't have this one. Time reservation him come more, or katamania projects blocked, program blocked, bahara no mana. Project, Mr. Speaker, for 1 year, him said taken 4 years, low one ministry. Awesome. Because by no any selling cash flow. And they, I thank Minister of Health for him highlighting. Him need him selling, but selling no sakam. Him current plan for him implement him to serve our people, but Mr. Speaker, that's the challenge. And imtola sabe. And so what now by you told him, I will touch on what now Tintin Blomilodial that one, Mr. Speaker. Central Honiara, was talking on the repeal LSL issue, and hemi toklo at industry blame where lo Somaliland Sports Authority okat sipin him through. Okata way should really also support him, okata create him and a conducive environment for them to compete. Now, Mr. Speaker, competition him good because okata foreigners, they are here competing as well with our local companies. And so by him end up okata by kilim okatna. Okay, local companies, they won't survive because they don't have the backup capital. They don't have. So they will be out of competition, Mr. Speaker. And that is a policy in place where Imtala Save also look lohem, Mr. Speaker. Mileve that's no more repeal LSL issue. I think Central Honiara hemi baraba talk long time lahem and him talk kulfala lahem. Me support him recommendation lahem. Prime Minister look good lahem first time. Look good lahem. Okata local indigenous people blame the low down. Land honest we're now okata. Also inside. Same okay something now. If you follow about conclude him good, then hemi good for make him more decision. So, Mr. Speaker, lo repeal LSL. This wala okat company hem stand time mi wawakalo Ministry of Commerce. Mi levet karem story lo hem. And lo here same something where him happen, him come, him continue to be supported until today. I'd like to put it that way, Mr. Speaker. Look at Lahema, because I was an officer in the Ministry of Commerce when these investments came about. And okata local man blow him tolo okata bara inside architect him okata something yeah, Mr. Speaker, him creating confusion casting today. And so, Honorable Prime Minister, you have the opportunity to really put this matter right, so that Hemi reflect him a true, sincere investment for our country, Mr. Speaker. Me like for that's also no more Mr. Speaker. And so, Imtola understand him economy blame tomorrow the important day launching of the 100 days policy. Mr. Speaker, Imtola look forward to him. Hemi important for this country. We've been waiting to see what now this 100 days policy by Hemi look like, and what now Hemi in there, whereby Hemi ignite him this moving forward of our country and our economy. So me look at one, Mr. Speaker. Me look inside the ministry lo clean up here. I think Imtel need for really quickly after 100 days here. Maybe part of the activity is sweeping clean of the ministries here. A lot of dead woods in there. Some follow where no mana. Okata no longer got them hard for waka now. By him no easy because by Imtel need for finishing mokat with him selling as well. But that could also hinder the expected progress and implementation of the 100 days policy. Me looking awesome. And so I would think that there will be a policy in addressing that reform in the public sector, in the ministries, Mr. Speaker. And me look supplementary budget for quickly come here. A supplementary budget for him come. Mr. Speaker, if the way we hear him awesome, the way we hear him last 5 years, last 6 years, last 7 years. By him no address him. The state we him tell him, and him tell for jumping economy him tell no more. Mr. Speaker, meeting him that package he need to be facilitated by a supplementary budget. And an urgent supplementary budget where donor partners, our development partners, they are in government, our people in as partners, and imtola champion economy imtola that one na milu look like. But if I just take him no more castle, business as usual, Mr. Speaker, then by him no deliver anticipated outcomes. inside the policy implemented. So unless hemi bara different approach, different way in the 12th Parliament, Mr. Prime Minister. Suppose normal by him status quo normal, and me like for encouraging me. How na by him tell to him by I think tomorrow by him come out law speech blow you law 100 days yeah. But me tintin blow me him awesome because him tell stay a little bit time of Parliament. We have gone through this situation and how him tell try for address him no ma. Hemi awesome him tell ki him ko no mo panatol no mo pa. Yeah, him by him no diagnose him by Minister lo health him side helping him with this one. Give him right one now. Last strong one and now give him look at the medication. And that is where this economy is calling for, Mr. Speaker. Lo me levet kadang interest no for commenting Chinat for the health Minister Hemi Bara outline him good. One for the area we have touching me area one yeah. That's the way me have like for social lo hem like a minister and government Hemi here and if we have problems here where minister is right on top of them, then how much more look at the clinics blintola, every health centers, and the quick delivery of drugs call by him para good, and minister is really looking at that. Calling for support, minister, you by receive 100% support from me in terms of what kind of budget you like him. By me level speak law, what not in me can employ. Law education, okata parents blimtola continue for struggle with the world beginning. Me no sabe lui fala imito every honorable colleagues, okata beginning mami sabe kasi mimtola. Me okata kasi mi situations I come across, okat beginning by come offer. You level help me for the market by me stop sinu first time. Me market for look after okat beginning. Hi. My karagi. What a challenge. And that is real in our country. Okat beginning staka samfala okat stay suspending course block at the first time, particularly lo sinu okat go market so that okat help them okat lo secondary okat brothers and sisters block it. Lo education me like him how him doesn't know sabe. Lulu kumolo help them okat parents people and give access to all Pekinini lo Solomon Islands lo education now. How na ba him tell dream? Me like for put him that one. If him does provide him maybe half free or what assistance to our parents, especially in this economic crisis where him bar hit hard lo okat rural villages playing tola and economy playing tola. Education is at heart lo okat families playing tola. And Jeanette, I believe you will have the right policy to ensure that all Pekinini in the country, they have access to education and okat school. School fee hem should not stop him moketa. Yeah. School fee hem should not stop him education block at Pekinini. Imtas I feel sorry block at, but me leave him low if look at policy discipline tola. Lo agriculture no ma him back for noticeable country. If him tell him selling lo minister lo agriculture him no ma. Yeah, no give him selling lo paper. Lo budget no ma no give him tatuan lo kata ministers. We've done that in 11 Parliament every year. That is why we say no ma 12 Parliament him should different ma. Him tell no give him. And so agriculture him. Mr. Speaker, and humility me lo me like for interstatim agriculture, Minister of Agriculture, Education, and Health. Give him full budget block at lot is supplementary, Mr. Prime Minister, and ring fence him now. Ring fence him. If we can do that for those 3 ministries, make him produce him outcome 100%. Me think this economy will start. Will start, Mr. Speaker. Sir, improven. TCGA hemi tuim for past begins. Partners come, government, I think more than 2 billion in dollar hosting came to him for 2 weeks. That is the committed investment when we talk to him. If him does have it to him for Pacific Games, why not doing for economy blame and our people? In an investment whereby Hemi provide them sustainable development of life locata. Mr. Speaker, so me like for budget lottery for ministry or any other ministry where Jeanette is capable of funding more, ring-fence him now, Selena not touch him, hem call at ministry, so that they actually implement the projects and programs, Mr. Speaker. So, lo mi levet touch no more lo someone forestry association me lo question levet comment lo hem thank you Minister lo health Pahai center mi already talk lo hem no ma Minister you pursue with the and government okata the someone forestry association hemi own services to almost all our provinces. All our provinces where logging him happen to him, there should be an area health center where Okata provide him. Now the policy him point in that direction. I can see China take him up. Make him Okata put him that legacy back. Mr. Speaker, first law Solomon Islands hemi go out law 1929. 1929 me record lo me that the first log hemi exported from Solomon Islands. Until today, Mr. Speaker, 95 years, and what now by hemi legacy? Economy, yes, but tangible way to look him. I think okata health facility or even for education, lo okata constituencies, provinces where looking him happen, why not? It's a good policy. Me like for commenting someone forestry association for that initiative. Me like him, China take him, connect him, make him establish him legacy after 95 years operation in our country, Mr. Speaker. Ministry of Rural Development by you come for the people blame Tanoma by you time you talk. Minosai house before no sai full but people blame me love me mas okatakam noma follow na ara city every me say no me yet. China them no give come any clear something no in budget ka kami holim lot the first time we should head out but no more so okata still come me call upon minister for him come up with him a statement to all our constituents make him look at hearing. So the leader of the opposition him levet alutlo used to be PRC. Blow you me 50 members. Blow me na hem lebet problem as leader hem alutlo hem itulu now. Okata officials okata teken me say hijack him okata use him for own project okata now. 3 projects na me submitting when requested as a requirement. 3 for proposal in 2 weeks me have to make him. Imi when 50 members imi run around yeah. Okat put in press assembly in 2023. Me to him. But okata pusumo okata blow me outside because parliament hemi dissolved and okata say lo me you no current power now. Me for officers no more current power. Oh okay, leaving by me powerful more then by me for come passing me for lama. So me call on minister. I think those there are some problems with him some constituencies lo okata areas here. So Lulu Klohem and powerful minister of rural development addressing more people blowing me lo when now timing where by constituency imi start for connecting more bills lo parliament I think me observing political party integrity act PPI, me look him hemi problem. You mean need for improvement, make him hemi, giving me stability so that government will me time inform him go now. So me expect him that should be one of the priority bills to bills and legislation committee. Make him hemi address him about the problems bring tall and me encourage him Jeanette for hemi bring him come okay the amendments here lo committee. Mr. Speaker, plus other priority bills and amendments that government him looking. Let me finish off, Mr. Speaker. Me like for also joining other colleagues for thanking my people of Blomi West Area constituency for entrusting me lo 4 term for become a media voice and representative on the floor of Parliament. Me like for thanking more the candidates where also contest they exercise their right in our democratic country for stand up. Me like for thanking all electors law West Area where elect him the candidate of their choice, Mr. Speaker, and me encourage him for normalize him Mr. Speaker. Place blame to West Area him problem it ya. Politic him seriousness so him go rouse him man and even wife and husband nos cause divorce imitation him go on him that extent of politics in West Area. So me call upon people problem is settle down now. The current representative of Parliament and me call upon everyone for him. So, me like for thank him. Every vote is him no easy. If everyone go through, him no easy. Me but half of my constituency me no cycle now. Me no campaign. So half of constituency him no easy. Yeah. If you go by me, rawa fight now. So me leave him go no more. And I thank every people constituency for their understanding. Me like for particularly thank him 3,049 voters where put him trust lo me, lo people lo me lo West Area and by me work with him, if work with him our constituency for me again advance him to the next level because he need too much load here. So. Problems lo hemi happen too. Me no addressing with him ministry yet, but like okata clinics lo mi fala okat politicizing too. So this time okata blow me no cycle okat clinic ya. Okat stop him okat oh you blow honorable adjournment niaru you no come lo clinic because okata vote ya okata opposition. So those things him continue for to save him okata people their peace. But that is something whereby need to be addressed with the Ministry and Electoral Commission. With that one, Mr. Speaker, me like for thanking you for the opportunity. Thank you, Prime Minister, for your motion. Me support him and me take him seat.
Thank you, Honourable Member of Parliament for West Area. We're now on time. Honourable members of Parliament, it is now 4:30, and I think in accordance with Standing Order 10.2, I will have to seek your consent to move a suspension of Standing Order 10 in accordance with Standing Order 81. Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is now 4:30. I seek your consent to move a suspension of Standing Order 10 in accordance with Standing Order 81.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister, honourable members. Unless any other member wishes to comment on this motion, I will do the question. And the question is that Standing Order 10 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81 to permit continuation of business until adjourned by the Speaker in accordance with Standing Order 10.5. All those in favour, say aye. All those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Standing Order 10 therefore stands suspended. We may continue the business until adjourned by the Speaker in accordance with Standing Order 10.5. So I will now invite the Minister for Provincial Governance and Resource Training. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Speaker Sir. Let me begin by formally congratulate you for your reappointment to the seat of the Speaker of Parliament. Your appointment to the position represents the trust we place in you to lead this honorable Parliament. I trust you will execute your role with respect and integrity. Speaker Sir, it is an honor to contribute to the motion moved by the Honorable Prime Minister in my capacity as the newly elected member for Ranonga and Simbo, and as the newly inducted Minister for Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening. These are responsibilities I carry with deep sense of duty to my good people of Ranonga and Simbo. As your newly elected MP, I would like to sincerely thank you for entrusting me with this honor of being your representative in this 12th Parliament. I am grateful for the invaluable support and shared commitment to the journey culminating in my successful election. We all strived to ensure that your democratic rights are valued and that our electoral process is fulfilled. I am proud of the fact that Ranonga and Simbo have contributed important human resources to our beloved nation, and we will continue to do so. One of our sons, Mr. Speaker, was once the Prime Minister of Solomon Islands from 1993 to 1994. Our people are peace-loving, resilient, hardworking, and silent achievers. I stand here today as one of the sons of Ranonga and Simbo. That is a testament to the embodiment of our democracy, in which our roles as MPs is by virtue of our people's choices. Therefore, with deep respect, I say thank you to my good chiefs, the elders, women groups, youth, and people of Ranonga and Simbo. Speaker Sir, allow me to also acknowledge and sincerely thank my predecessor and former MP, Mr. Charles Seward, for his contribution and strong leadership over the past years. We entered the race together to Parliament on different paths, but we had a common objective, and that is to serve and contribute to the well-being and development of our constituency and people. I am honored by the confidence of the Prime Minister for me to be the Minister for Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening. I am sometimes told that the Minister for Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening is sometimes jokingly referred to as the Minister for Solomon Islands, because of the ministry's purview that it looks after the 9 provinces. So I guess it's fitting too to reference the minister that way. In this connection, Speaker Sir, I wish to congratulate all members of provincial assemblies, the premiers and speakers, on your election to your respective seats. As the minister responsible for provincial government and institutional strengthening, I am committed and dedicated to delivering on the mandated tasks ahead. I'm well aware of the work that lies ahead in the assigned portfolio, and of course the many expectations that our people, especially the provincial government, have on this ministry. However, it is my belief that in order to address our complex issues, we need to be forthcoming with our agenda and discuss matters in a candid and understanding manner. While we are guided by laws and regulations, my approach would be one of consultation and inclusive engagement on issues that are pertinent to our provincial programs. Speaker Sir, the expectations for more autonomy to provinces, or the call for effective service delivery, and even the request for reforms, these are some of the many issues that remain to be addressed. They are agendas not to be taken lightly, as they speak to the core of the development and well-being of our people in rural areas. In this connection, I recognize the need and importance to strengthen relationships between provincial governments and national government, and the role of my ministry in providing an enabling environment to advance many issues and priorities. Mr. Speaker, I am aware that the previous House has achieved many grounds for this country in terms of addressing the provincial government and federalism agenda. The adoption of the Constituent Assembly by the 11th Parliament has set the scene for prospect towards our provincial dynamics, and I am aware of the need to work smarter on this program. This is a milestone realization which will set the tone for our momentum going forward, and in the interest of this country and its desires, my ministry will continue to align itself to what is expected. This agenda is not only important, but is also long time coming. Our provincial government agenda cannot be addressed with a one-size-fits-all approach, but it has to be addressed incrementally and with the clear outcome to bring prosperity and development in our provinces. Nor can it be done alone. It needs a comprehensive approach through building synergies and competencies across the government and with our partners. Mr. Speaker, In that connection, I wish to thank our development partners in progressing our provincial governance strengthening program. These are key deliverable programs designed to facilitate effective and efficient service delivery, as well as building capacities on institutional strengthening for provincial governments. As Minister responsible, I am committed to work and to ensure programs are relevant and delivered in a timely manner, as well as undertake reviews where necessary. I have full confidence in my ministry's technical experts and will lend the support needed to deliver the programs as expected. Mr. Speaker, sir, as a new inductee to this noble house, allow me to convey my deepest respect to all members. And I wish to assure you all of my collaboration as expected by conventional practice of this honorable house. The integrity of this 12th Parliament rests on all of us, respected members, to deliberate and address matters of national interest. And therefore, it is my intention to do so with integrity and respect. Before I resume my seat, I'd like to highlight some of the key policy areas that will be captured in the GNAT policy. Just in brief, I wish to highlight them. Here, some of them are touched by my good friend, a member for West Ariare, a while ago. The first one, Mr. Speaker, is the review of the Provincial Government Act 1997. Mr. Speaker, the critical nationwide consultative process for the review of the Act 1997 was done over the last 10 or so years. The Ministry's view on this policy area is that we will now take a thorough review of the critical provisions of the legislation and progress to amend the PGA Act 1997 to support key operations of our provincial governments. The next one is the revenue sharing bill. This one will also be captured in the GNAT 100 days policy, should be launched tomorrow. So, Speaker said the ministry is also bringing this bill back, the revenue sharing bill. Basically, the revenue sharing, as the name indicates, is a formulated system of sharing of the state's national revenue resources, particularly across its national entities or provincial governments. And the third one that I also wish to highlight is the Provincial Capacity Development Fund. The full details and particulars of this would also be captured in the GNAT 100 days policy. So these are some of the programs that my good ministry will be working on in the next 100 days. Speaker, sir, in closing, allow me to once again to extend my deepest gratitude to the people of Ranonga and Simbo, and especially for my voters, for having that confidence in me. My heartfelt thank you too to the chiefs, the elders, church leaders, and people of Ranonga and Simbo. As your elected representative, if you will listen come this time, I assure you of my commitment to be your voice, to represent you diligently on this noble floor of Parliament, and of course to work together with you to achieve our development goals. With these remarks, I thank you for this opportunity. I now resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable MP for Ranonga Simbo and the Minister for Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening. Any other members? Yes, recognize the MP for Temutunende. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me this opportunity to contribute to the motion of Sine-Die that was moved by the Honorable Prime Minister, that the adjournment of Parliament on the Monday 17th June 2024, the present meeting shall be concluded, and Parliament shall then stand adjourn Sine-Die. Hence, I would like to highlight some of the sentiments or statements made by the Prime Minister, most especially in the areas of Constituency Boundary Commission. Mr. Speaker said, I really applaud that statement, and I'm sure we are looking forward, as most of my people and the constituents are looking for that, so that people are equally benefit from the benefits of those constituencies. In that regard, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the statements alluded by the Honorable Minister of Finance, that the economy is not gloomy as we are expecting. Hence, should there be a government that we are looking for a new direction, a new leadership, we have the confidence that the GNAT government is right here with us. So thank you so much for the assurance. In terms of trade, as also alluded by the Honorable Prime Minister, and also been alluded by the Leader of Opposition regarding trade, as far as my constituency is concerned, there is a trade link that has been discussed several times, Mr. Speaker, in regards to the MSG. And if Temotu province is one of the entrants in terms of the Eastern Bloc, I'm looking forward that GNAT will take on this and ensure that there is a trade using that MSG trade agreement. Hence, I'm looking at GNAT to ensure that we capacitate the Department of Agriculture and Fisheries, as there are some of the resources we have in place, and ensure that we materialize that form of arrangement by having that free trade. In light of the federal system, as alluded by other speakers, we have the Constituency Assembly that we are trying to adopt, and I think it's good and right that we try and look at the cost-benefit analysis of those systems so that we can really see which of those types of governance is much more cheaper to us, as we know and believe that we are in the economic crisis, as we all know. In terms of the provincial government system, thank you so much, Honorable Minister for Provincial Government. Please take on board, most of our provinces are existing without legal advisors. And our provincial governments need to be advised. And I'm urging, if the government of national unity and transformation can take on board recruiting legal advisors or legal advisors for our provinces. Mr. Speaker, in terms of health, thank you so much, Minister of Health, for mentioning that we are not forgotten in terms of health services. We are so remote, and we are so scattered. Thank you for mentioning Tukutawa and Tikopia, that is still on the pipeline, so as Manopo Health Centers in the River Islands, because health is everyone's business. So thank you so much for mentioning those health centers. However, we are on the small islands, so thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, that we must not be forgotten. We need to be resettled in terms of the land mass of our islands, so please consider us as the global warming is so increasing. Just to conclude, first and foremost, thank you so much. I would like to congratulate on behalf of my people, Mr. Speaker, for being re-elected as the National Speaker for the 12th Parliament. We are so confident and trust that through your wisdom, you can still continue with the proceedings of the Parliament. Mr. Speaker, as elected leaders of the 12th Parliament of Solomon Islands, can we make sense of the number 12? Number 12 stands out, appears numerous times in the Old and New Testament. It means perfection or authority, Mr. Speaker, often used in the context of government. For instance, because Jacob has 12 sons, they form the 12 tribes of Israel, Mr. Speaker. Number 12 appears 187 times in the Bible. It makes a special appearance in Revelation, Mr. Speaker, showing the authority and perfection of God's kingdom. Mr. Speaker, there are 12 things to know about 12 in the Bible in relation to a reflection to the 12th Parliament. Mr. Speaker, number 1 is Jesus first spoke in the temple at the age of 12. Mr. Speaker, number 2, 12 cakes placed in the tabernacle. Number 3, the 12 sons of Jacob. 4, the 12 spies scouted the promised land. Mr. Speaker, Nebuchadnezzar's dream was fulfilled after 12 months. The 12 tribes went to a battle in the Midianites. Number 8 is the 12 baskets remain full. King Solomon appointed 12 governors. Number 10, Elisha walked with 12 oxen, Mr. Speaker. Number 11, 12 priests chosen by Israel. And lastly, number 12, the tree of life in Revelation that bears 12 fruits. So as members of the Parliament, of the 12th Parliament, I think number 12 is a perfect number. It requires us to work collaboratively and cooperatively to lead our nation. God uses numbers to bring about His kingdom and reveal Himself, Mr. Speaker. It is this 12th Parliament that all elected leaders must work cooperatively and collaboratively for the common good of all citizens of this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is time that we stand united and transform all government sectors, transform all provinces, transform all constituencies, all our communities, villages and islands, and most importantly, the lives of our people. Mr. Speaker, the times of divide and rule had gone that we must never, ever remember. The time is right here to do things differently for a good cause, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the citizens of these nations are waiting to feel the manifestation of the impacts of our policies in their lives. Policies with actions in the areas of health, as I mentioned earlier on, education services, communication services, transportation services, agriculture, and fisheries, and so forth. Mr. Speaker, let the Parliament be a place of dialogue, working together, harmonizing the spirit of unity as a nation, manifestation of transformation in the socio-economic development than to build spirit of unrest, unfairness, inequality, racism, regionalism, and suppressing the minority not to be heard. Mr. Speaker, as a new Member of Parliament for Temotunende, I am confident and trust the Government of National Unity will be delivering the needed services and develop Solomon Islands. Let us help each other, work as a team than playing a tug of war at the expense of the people of this nation. The book of Hebrew signifies 12 as perfect government, God's government or a divine order. With these few remarks, I support the motion by the Honorable Prime Minister. I resume my seat.
Thank you, Honorable MP for Temotunende. Let me give the floor to the MP for Renal and Bellona. You have the floor, sir. Minister for Public Service. Have the floor, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this important motion moved by the Prime Minister that at the adjournment of Parliament on Monday, 17th June 2024, the present meeting shall be concluded and Parliament shall then stand adjourned Sine-Die. First of all, this being my first formal contribution on the floor, let me first of all thank you and also acknowledge your return as the Speaker of this Honourable House. The fact that your candidacy was you unopposed there, I mean that speaks a lot of the confidence that this current House in Garim you to lead this Honourable House. Let me also thank the people and constituency of Renal and Bellona for giving me this privilege to represent them in this 12th Parliament. Some very good spiritual attachment to with this number, so good for noting that one. I also want to congratulate honourable colleagues of this fellow House for your success. As Taka mentioned him, it's not easy. This fellow election, especially our style of election, but you may manage to come here. Some of you fellow got a very commanding victory. I would say I'm clear majority, but for some of us, not so much. That's the system you may got him. LPV is probably something that you might look into, just to, if you may talk about mandate and representation and OSM, but that's probably another conversation. I'd also like to, through the wing leader, thank the Prime Minister for the opportunity to serve in his cabinet. We followed new MPs there, but the issues that we face today is not new. These are old issues, or something you may look lohem lo school, look lohem lo waka, and they're still here. You know, these are old issues. But the economic issues that we face, hem long standing, yeah, these are issues. And base law structural economy blame. So I must say, we have a very narrow economic base. Our economy depends a lot on commodity pricing. So when these prices fluctuate, them affect them economy blaming. We have very high population. I'm almost over now growth rate blaming. So that means we need to be more innovative. We need to find more areas of growth inside the country. There was one mention there about the comparative advantage every constituency, believe me agree. There are some comparative advantage that some constituencies or provinces have over others. And that's why some of our big investments MC download place here. I'd just like to talk a little bit about my constituency of Renal and Bellona. But before I do that, let me just, in terms of how you expand the economic base, believe me, and the contribution that each constituency might be able to contribute to that fella expansion, so that, population, believe me, in the next 10 years, we'll be hitting millions here. But the growth rate and what we're earning out of that wealth are not enough, well, currently. So before we talk about him, what I want to talk about in terms of how we can contribute, but me for Lorraine Bell constituency, is to do with fish. So I used to join Ogata meeting below WCPFC. Now this is the commission that sets Ogata measures so that you can serve him with a fish stock, believe me. And they say that in the next 10 years, what a fish stock will be depleted. That means decline in revenue too for you, me. So we talk improvement in fisheries, but in the longer term, what the efforts that are currently going on inside of the waters, believe me, because this whole commission only deal within the waters, or EEZ, not deal with them internal waters. So when efforts shift come inside internal waters, must stop and continue for deplete. So the reason I say this is because we contribute a lot low, what a protein blow, staka yumi export lemne, and the fact that this is declining, or the other countries in Asia are moving towards freshwater farming. It's big business, and these people are positioning themselves for the next 10 years or so. So this is the kind of thinking that, I want to put forward that, look, we have to not just plan for today, but even try to look a bit long term. And me tell them this one because other places in Asia that are looking for ways to farm the fresh fish here, the biggest body of water in Lake Tangano in the southern hemisphere. So my point of this one is we could become a protein hub for this whole region. You don't have to dig and make an artificial lake. They're finished. Before host him constituency mifal. So this is something that I hope to discuss more with my colleagues. And it's a start. We have to start somewhere. And in terms of the contribution that my constituency can give, or you may assess him, make some research, look at the market, you may try to prepare. If it's something that's feasible, you may try. Because that's the only way we can grow the economy, is looking at comparative advantage, believe me. Perhaps not just lot provinces, but lot region, believe me. So that's just something like mentioning here. Every constituency here can contribute to the basket. But you may just have to do your own assessment, before you may venture into these things. This Boundaries Commission report is something that we're very keen as well to look lohem at the recommendations that are contained in that report. We, like every other honourable colleagues, want to talk about him. It's also something that we are also interested for look lohem. Population is an important indicator, but the voice of our diverse population is also an important indicator. This is also another way for redistributing wealth, believe me, around him, what the various, I'd say, regions inside the country, believe me. A lot of, some of our communities are hosting with big investments here. They only receive CDF, and that's the only thing that was used for development. Other segments of our different regions, or through hosting those things, it's like a benefit them come. So I'm just saying that this is something that you might also want to consider. But I mean, the Boundaries Commission report is important, but we have to also assess him in light of what's coming up. The Constituent Assembly, you may already pass him. I mean, the last government and pass him. And this for the Constituent Assembly will look at the draft and then eventually draft here by Kasim here. Whether there's still appetite for that, I guess this for the Assembly will make it clear. So I think the opportunity to contribute to that, I'm come up with time here, but we just mention that in terms of when we consider the report below Boundaries Commission. Let me just briefly touch on the Public Service Ministry, which I have the privilege to head as the Minister. The 100 Days program that will be launched tomorrow. There are some bills, Lomi Falaba go in, which sort of lays the foundation for further workload that general orders blame me. Because these orders, general orders, as most of you would agree, they are slightly outdated, and this fella bill has something that can lay foundation for that. 80% of our formal employment inside the country is staff law, public service here. Some of our best and our brightest are inside public service blame. But you know, work morale, motivation, incentives is something that there's work to do here. We can still bring out more from what officers blame me, but we need to look at ways to not only maintain them, but to improve capacity blogata, perhaps through an institute. We currently have an IPAM, but no any place for hosting. So that's possibly something we will look into, providing incentives and training. Going forward, Mr. Speaker, I look forward to working with all my colleagues inside government and on the opposite, for you may continue to look at how best you may address some of issues where the Finance Minister has raised them. These are issues that are long-standing, but it also gives us opportunities for you to look at how now you may respond as a government and also as the 12th Parliament. So with those few remarks, I like once again thank all the people or Reno and Bellona, supporters, non-supporters, all the candidates, this fella election and finish. Go me talemot finish here. Election and finish now. I will work for all of us. The 20% vote for me plus the 80% that would go on our side. This is not just because of what I believe in, but because CDF acte hem taleme. You cannot ignore. If you ignore, by you trouble. So I'm something that I'm new. Some people don't get used to him, but we've got time. Let me work together and see how you miss our best address him everyone. Because this fella funding him blow you me everyone. With those few words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you and I thank every honourable colleagues for listening. I resume my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister for Public Service. Any other members wish to comment? Yes, please, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the motion that is on the floor. Firstly, I'd like for Tokolo people of East Honiara. Thank you very much, my dear people of East Honiara, especially you community leaders, church leaders, young people, men, women and children, for the support, the trust and the confidence that invested upon me to represent you in this honorable house. I am humble and here to serve you and will continue to work with you for the next 4 years. While I'm here to serve you, me like for reiterate some of the areas here. Put in mind, people of Estonia, that population blooming big for good. And if we are talking about a big constituency, Estonia is one of them. A population, we have a current big population. And the among you, people of Estonia, you current weak constituents them stop to. Unable members, lo community blame the lot of stuff. Or the old people. Or the all one blame the lot stuff. People with disability. Or the full employee communities blame the lot too. Or even the sick. And if we are to operate on the principle of survival of the fittest, by them not receiving anything at all, because of the population we have is so massive. We also have needy people pull up inside our communities, blaming people of Estonia, widows, fatherless, even different people of color have full up too. And even far worse, all provinces have inside the constituency blame Tola. With this big ethnicity, it's a big challenge that by Miftola facing. And because of that, only through love and respect can bind us together. Let's put others first, my people of Estonia, to seek for unity, embrace the weak, and show compassion for the needy. We are very diverse from the rest of Solomon Island. Other constituencies bring Tala, Lord, this country, one language no more. But in Tala, almost how many languages Lo Solomon, hem stablo Estonia. Hem so diverse. It's a big challenge. Unity only comes about when there is love. So I like encourage people of Estonia, love one another, though we are diverse. My people, constituency office Plimdal have not ready yet. However, soon it will be in order. Stablo house and listen out for when our responsible authorities by staff him na office Plimdala. Only then you shall come down to office for ask him any question or doing whatever need you like him. No Western Pass for come down law office because by no meet him anyone there yet. Go garden, go fishing, and do business while in the wait. Mr. Speaker, East Honiara is a very big constituency, likewise Central Honiara and the Western Honiara constituencies. They're so big. And I'm so big just because I'm accommodating the vast majority of this country. And within the population law, Trifle constituency, by you finding out the existing facilities were available, have not enough for the constituency itself. Have not enough. If we are talking health, East Honiara Hemekaram only three clinics and one fala Hemi close finish, Kukum, to serve 40 to 60,000 people. And if you plus more the population blue you follow where come from the provinces, we are talking about 100,000 people in the constituency. Serve the Trifala clinic no more. These issues the constituency have been facing for the past years, and no anyone ever talk about. By looking at the population to the 3 clinics, having not enough, I should say. Even those 3 clinics were built for the last 20 to 30 years, and conditions of them continue to go down. Reason why Kukum have close. And if we don't urgently address these things, other clinics will continue to close. Mr. Speaker, East Honiara truly need 2-3 more clinics to support the current population that in Dalkaren. Honorable members, East Honiara have not only supporting the constituent, but him supporting all Solomon Islands. And we are to look at it the direction. If in the looking was him constituency, but in the say, give me support the goal of home no forget that home you have empty Phoenicia. Everyone lo East Honiara. So support him now. 3 more clinics for East Honiara. If him does support him this term. Minister responsible, please. Giving people of East Honiara 3 more clinics. And I believe Central and Western Honiara, what about needing 2 years? 4 fala, yeah? Okay, thank you. Loss of education. If you go back, lot of schools inside the constituency blooming. So sad to see that some schools of the current even 6 streams of Form 1, 5 streams of Form 6. How many space or school is not enough? A lot of time. Imtala say, what is the issue? Why the education system of this country is going down? Imtala raising those issues. But lest you forget that teacher-student ratio is one of the major factors and by affecting now the education system of the country. And if we have 6 streams and in 1 stream 100 students, what quality education are we expecting? Minister responsible, give East Honiara at least 2 more schools so that indicate, not for East Honiara Seleva, for our people inside of this country, Solomon Island. Mr. Speaker, sir, when you come down from Henderson, first constituency by looking inside of this city, have now East Honiara constituency. But inside the East Honiara constituency, when you come inside this constituency, go out inside the communities, infrastructure, especially road blame, that have been worse, far worse than anywhere. Unlike member for Central Honiara, I'm Italian finish. No any city look all same, yeah. No any city look all same. It is our heart if we can provide a better road system for the people of East Honiara for access. And I believe him inside Lord Disala, 100 days policy bring him inside Phoenicia. Please work on it, Minister responsible. By developing East Honiara, it's not about the constituency. Developing East Honiara is about developing Honiara city. It is the gateway to our city. Let's develop our constituency, develop our city. Give us, please, give us Tasi roads. People of East Honiara what cry with these issues for how many years and go finish. And I believe no one ever echo their needs inside the house. I think it's high time to share those grievances now. Time is Tablo village. We could take him bucket water side of house because water supply him is down. And I'm thinking life at the village have a hard life. But when you come to East Honiara, the communities in Dalkaren, the life in Honiara city is far worse than the life at home. Today, as we speak, women and girls of the state of streams inside the Wales along Lunga River for finding water for survival. What a struggle now as we speak. Meeting was become Honiara by easy, but him far worse. Even when the night hemi fall upon them, or the still inside the stream, collecting water from buckets and walk about Whiteham for a distance almost a kilometer. Honiara, a city. People believe East Honiara, start Lunga coming down this way, what a struggle when it comes to water. Water is need. Imta should not sell them to people. High. Imta should make them available for people. And authorities responsible, please take note. People bring them to suffer. No way out to stop. Under our very nose. What a suffer stop. Mifal plan, if Siwa cannot go in quickly, Mifal drilling poor waters through East Honiara. And Mifal start for order, not drilling machines for coming, for start doing that waka for Mifala. Though Mifala might not put water inside the homes of these women, but at least we bring it closer to their home. Security block and no quarantine. We're not stay out in the night. These are issues that are facing for the past 20 years and have not solved even up until today as we speak. Mr. Speaker, sir, another major issue people is torn out of facing. A lot of them, or the state of land, or the state of for the past 20 to 30 years. Or if you go across the communities, like I assume you walk about and looking. Buildings of the building have look so decent, even more than some of the Tasahe, Panatina, how to build those places. And it looks so nice, so beautiful, so set up, look at it, so good. But they have still land, we have no current titles left. And at night, these old men, almost every night, about to sleep and dream about what will happen to my family if me die tonight. Worry block it. If me die, what will happen to family? They are not secured. The properties on the land. Ministry responsible, please. Go look him. Do something about it. If it means we exempt the fees concerned, they'll exempt him for kata. If it means they'll down in price, look the land down him. Even government have not taken any single coin when him come law land rental. No any single coin him taken here. But if him they'll register and kim law people, at least in the collecting revenue from land rentals. These are issues where constituency blumi hemi facing, Mr. Speaker, and it's not time for settling these people. People blame Talaya. Even some of you will have or to go vote in home or to come stop land where no hem no block it. It's about time him to go behind him, supporting the idea to settle them. Settle in market. And we believe if you will organize him good, those places can become a suburb on their own. Line up him good too much back. Just because you tell him name of these communities and here risky, so you don't visit him. But me like encouraging you go and visit him. And by you looking for you seller, what now we talk about? Me being think for them, why not him take so long for government blame dollar for look at these people. Or look about them, these needs. Him not just one for a small need no more. It's a necessity that they need for addressing to. But when we look him, one for him come, and we'd rather say it's a problem that government blame dollar have been facing all through the past years. Come. And the problem have been caused by the very leaders where people block it and we pledge him allegiance so that Ota can come and serve him inside this Parliament House. These very leaders are not causing those problems. And that is the problem of government instability. Look, campaign trails, blame dala, go in the talent, what people blame dala. If me go in by me doing also, me go in by me joining government, by me doing this and that, me go in by me building this and that, or by me joining government side. These are talks in the people blame dala. Okay, I believe you. I will put you in there. And when they put him, they'll come back inside the house. We forget about everything they'll talk about, and we do otherwise. We do otherwise. If they'll push them away their interest, and we put our interest before the parliament. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm so sad for learning through the past years how the prime ministers ought to cry for handling not this issue of instability. And the worst people ought to do him, or now people when we follow government side. When Prime Minister have not served him the interest of the members of his side, what are doing up here? Me go na ya. If you're not doing this for me, me go na ya. We are the ones that we are causing this very problem. And so, Mr. Speaker, Prime Minister, because him like for maintaining him, government will him, what him doing, even him doing things he shouldn't do. For saving members' plan. For saving members' plan. Instead of the Prime Minister having me think about him, the economy, instead of the Prime Minister having I think follow now policies, making new laws, amending all laws, have me forget them all these things, and have me work for stabilizing his group. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think him high time now. Him they'll put him away our personal interests. Him they'll put him away our political differences. And they'll put him this nation, Solomon Island, number one. Him they'll put him people blue him dollar, number one. Then and only then, Prime Minister blue him dollar by Waka for serving country. Mr. Prime Minister, I and people of Sonera, we follow behind you. The government blue you, and we pledge our allegiance for supporting the government blue you, Lord this term. Continue for Waka and continue to strive forward. Mr. Speaker, ask me ready for Spy me sit down. Me like for Talemalo members of Parliament that big man God have me raise him leaders for a time. Just for a time. And he raised you and me for this time. And because now is your time and my time, let's serve our God, let's serve our people and our nation with love, dignity, and pride. Let's support our government, both sides of the house. Let's work together. Again, put away our differences, and let's move this nation forward. With that, we'd like to say thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now I'll resume my seat.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Honera. Any other members who wish to contribute to the motion? Thank you, Honourable MP for Te Motopele. You have the floor, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the motion before us. First of all, Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank you, congratulate you for your successful re-election as the Speaker Honourable Speaker for the 12th Parliament. You deserve your re-election and wish you God's blessing as you continue to discharge your responsibilities. I would also like to extend my congratulations to the Member of Parliament for Northwest Guadalcanal, also for his election as your deputy for the 12th Parliament. Congratulations to both of you. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank my good people of the Motopele constituency, to the paramount chiefs, elders, church workers, women, youth, and children of the Motopele. Thank you for the support, trust, and confidence in mandating me to be your representative in the 12th Parliament. Thank you for believing in me and making the change we all want to happen. Also, Mr. Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of my people of Motopele to thank Member of Parliament for Kia Ograno Haule, my schoolmate, for his successful election as the Prime Minister of Solomon Islands. As a very senior government minister and seasoned diplomat, you have our support to lead this country. Congratulations to you and your cabinet ministers. To my predecessor, I would also like to thank him for his leadership and service rendered to the people of Motopele. You have done a lot to the people, constituency, and nation, and I pledge to continue the same support to our people in the Motopele constituency and contribute to nation building. Sir, I would like to appeal to my good people of Motopele to put the elections behind and come together as one people with shared values and identity with a common purpose going forward. Mr. Speaker, I also would like to take this opportunity to thank the Clerk of Parliament and his staff for the administration of Parliament business. Thank you too much. Mr. Speaker, as a new Member of Parliament, I was caught in the political crossfire leading up to the election of the Prime Minister. I have learned some important lessons that could help me better manage the situation in the future. So, for now, I ask all of us, national leaders, to put the interest of our people and country in the forefront of every decisions we make. I think a lot of discussion over the colleagues have already talked about inside the trade and investment, trying to improve the economy, and also Minister of Finance and talk about him patching up the holes inside the revenue collection, which is very important, and also revising of tax exemptions. So this one can only happen if all of us work together. We cannot continue for taking in political divisions blaming for dividing law of the national issues. I think we need all of us so that we can address the pressing issues regarding our economy. Mr. Speaker, I would like to remind the government of its social obligation, responsibility, and commitment to my people of the Motopele constituency to ensure the delivery of social services are prioritized and delivered. This one we directly directing Minister of Health and Medical Services. Say on this note, I would like to state that the importance of opening Manopo Health Center project, the constituency below me, that was completed I think one and a half years ago, and I'm still waiting to be operational. I think there are some issues relating to medical equipment and also supplies and also staff. So we urging you for you to look through this one because people below me bara needing this for a service. I think it's very expensive and also very risky for across Guadalajara, Santa Cruz, for accessing now. This was a very important service. So the project has completed some years back, and I think there should be some agency from your ministry for ensure that I'm open for people accessing service. Lastly, say on the national front, I call on all of us, national leaders, regardless of which side of the house we are in, to put our political, personal differences aside and work together to build our country. our economy and give hope for all Solomon Islanders to live a life they deserve. Let us all embrace our diversity for the sake of our nation building. With those few remarks, I resume my seat.
Thank you, Honourable MP. Let me now give the floor to the Honourable MP for Savo Russell. You have the floor, sir.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for allowing me to contribute briefly to the motion of Sine-Die moved by the Honourable Prime Minister. On behalf of my people of Savo Russell's constituency, I want to also thank the Honourable Prime Minister for introducing the motion that has prompted many of us, especially the newly elected members of this House, including myself, to deliver our maiden speeches. First and foremost, I extend my congratulations to you, Mr. Speaker, on your re-election to the chair. I look forward to collaborating with you and your dedicated team in navigating the parliamentary processes ahead. I also extend my heartfelt congratulations to Prime Minister Honourable Jeremiah Manele on his successful elections as head of the executive government, as well as the Deputy Prime Minister, Honourable Bradley Tovosia, all ministers of the Crown, and my fellow members of the Parliament on both the government, opposition, and independent benches. I also express my heartfelt congratulations to the Leader of Opposition Office, Honourable Matiwale, and also to the Leader of Independent Group, Honourable Peter Kenlore Jr. Mr. Speaker, I am profoundly grateful to my supporters, the people of Savo and Russells, chief and elders, my wife and family, including those who have supported my election campaign on one way or another. Together, we are united in our efforts to bring about positive change and progress for Savo Russell's constituency. I would also like to commend my predecessor, the former Member of Parliament for Savo Russell's, Mr. Dixon Mua Pai Panakitasi, for his 13 years of dedicated leadership in the constituency. His commitment and service have greatly benefited our constituency. I aim to build his foundation with my team to continue his work towards enhancing our community's well-being and development. Mr. Speaker, having worked in the private sector for most of my career, I strongly believe in private sector-led growth as vital for the prosperity of Solomon Islands. Therefore, I firmly believe that through close collaboration between government and private sector is crucial to drive economic development effectively. On that note, I firmly believe that Savo and Russells have significant potential for revitalizing the plantation estates in Russell Islands, known as the largest coconut plantation in the Southern Hemisphere. The area is rich in resources and opportunities that, if properly harnessed, can lead to substantial economic development. By investing in these estates, we can create jobs, stimulate local economies, and contribute to the overall growth and prosperity to my constituency, as well as our nation. We must explore and implement strategies to fully realize this potential for the benefit of our country and future generations. Mr. Speaker, it is important to address challenges and missed opportunities of the past governments in resuming operations in Russell Islands plantation estates. These estates, once thriving, have faced neglect and underutilization for far too long. The lack of attention has not only hindered economic growth, but has also left significant potential untapped in the region. So we must also address the sensitive issue of resources overharvesting by former plantation workers following a trade dispute panel decision. This situation has led to the depletion of resources owned by indigenous people, creating tensions and further complicating efforts to restore the plantations to their former productivity. It is crucial to approach this matter with sensitivity and commitment to fairness, ensuring that the rights and resources of indigenous local people are respected and preserved. Moving forward, the government has a responsibility to actively seek resolutions to these long-outstanding issues. We must prioritize a revival of plantation operations, as this will only stimulate economic activity, but also much needed employment and development opportunities for my people. By engaging in meaningful dialogue with all stakeholders, including the indigenous local people and former plantation workers, we can find sustainable solutions that will benefit everyone involved. Say the persistent issues affecting indigenous local people who have seen their resources remain idle for too long must be addressed with urgency and care. Mr. Speaker, we have to ensure that the resources are managed in a way that promotes the welfare and preserves their cultural heritage. Through a collaborative and inclusive approach, we can work towards revitalizing the plantation estates, fostering economic growth, and building a brighter future for Savo-Russells and our country as a whole. Mr. Speaker, the potential of Savo and Russells extends far beyond plantation estates. These are rich with opportunities, particularly in the sea of tourism. The Savo volcano, with its awe-inspiring presence, and the stunning islands of Russells present unique and captive attractions that can be developed into major tourist destinations. The natural beauty and distinctive features of Savo and Russell Islands offer a wealth of possibilities for ecotourism and adventure tourism. By promoting the Savo volcano and the pristine beaches, lush landscapes, vibrant marine life of Russell Islands, we can attract visitors from around the world. This would not only boost the local economy, but also create jobs and business opportunities for our communities. Mr. Speaker, developing these sites as tourist attractions will require sustainable practices to preserve their natural beauty and cultural significance. We can achieve this by working together closely with local communities, ensuring that tourism development benefits the indigenous people and respects their heritage and traditions. Mr. Speaker, I am committed to addressing the diverse needs and aspirations of my people across various critical sectors. My goal is to implement comprehensive strategic and initiatives that will enhance the quality of life for everyone in my constituency. In the area of health, I prioritize improving health care access to my people. This includes upgrading existing healthcare facilities, ensuring the availability of essential medical supplies, and investing in training programs for healthcare workers. By doing so, I am to provide my constituency with the health care they need to live healthy and fulfilling lives. Education is another key priority to my constituency. I recognize the importance of providing our children and young people with a strong education foundation. I will focus my attention improving the infrastructure of our schools, ensuring that they are well equipped with the necessary resources and technologies. I am also committed to support offering assistance to students who need it. My goal is to create an environment where every child has the opportunity to succeed academically and reach their full potential. Addressing unemployment is also a critical concern for me. I aim to work closely with the government on initiatives such as promoting local businesses, attracting investment, and supporting business ventures by fostering a dynamic and diversified economy. Furthermore, I will be focusing on the economic aspects of my constituency by supporting local businesses and encouraging income-generating projects, activities. These involve providing financial assistance, training and resources to small, medium-sized enterprises to help them grow and thrive. Before taking my seat, I am determined to work closely with the Central Islands Provincial Assembly and my colleague MP for Gela constituency, Joylyn Douglas, to serve our people of Central Province over the next 4 years. With these remarks, Mr. Speaker, I resume my seat.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Savarasos. With your indulgence, honourable members, I think we will stop tonight here. We still have another 2 days at least, so with your indulgence, please accept the ruling by the chair, by the speaker, and therefore, honourable members, before I adjourn Parliament, I understand that the Prime Minister wishes to move a suspension of Standing Order 10.1 and Standing Order 10.6 in accordance with Standing Order 18, and I have granted him permission to do so. Honourable Prime Minister, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Standing Order 10.1 and Standing Order 10.6 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81, so that when Parliament adjourns today, it will adjourn until 1 p.m. tomorrow, notwithstanding Standing Orders 10.1 and 10.6. Mr. Speaker, the reason for this request for this suspension is in view of the launching of the government's 100 days program, as well as policy statement, which is scheduled for tomorrow morning between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., co-hosted by the Somaliland government and the Somaliland Chamber of Commerce and Industry at the Heritage Park Hotel. And I would like to kindly invite all of you to attend that launching. So this is the reason for this suspension. And given the traffic that we have, the heavy traffic, I thought that it will be important that we have the meeting at 1 p.m. Instead of straight after the launching ceremony. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable members, it is proposed that Standing Order 10.1 and Standing Order 10.6 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81 for the reasons given by the Prime Minister. Does any member wish to comment on this motion before I put the question? Thank you, Honourable MP for West Are.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister, for motion. Let me straightforward, let me understand you. Let me very important program. On that note, give me an opportunity to congratulate you and Jeanette for the launching, important for the country. So I wish to convey our congratulations this side of the House to you, Honorable Prime Minister, and members of your government, Jeanette. We support it. We don't have a problem with it.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Was there any further comments on the statement by the Prime Minister? Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Briefly to thank the MP for West Harare for his concurrence to the suspension and for his support in terms of the launching program that will take place tomorrow. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I will now put a question. The question is that Standing Order 10.1 and Standing Order 10.6 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81. Of those in favour, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Standing Order 10.1 and Standing Order 10.6 therefore stands suspended. And honourable members, in accordance with the earlier resolution of this House and pursuant to Standing Order 10.5, the House is now adjourned until 1 p.m. on Wednesday, 12 June 2024.